All right, a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, coming to you from the flight deck here with Captain Nabs. And as I do this, as I say this, I realize that I have background audio going in my headset. You guys can't hear the background audio right now from my aircraft. And there's another CRJ parked right on top of me right now. So we have a couple of issues to work out here. Funny stuff. All right, so let's do this. First of all, I'm going to sort out my issue with my audio, guys. Give me 1 second, and I will be right back with you. Okay, so now back with you guys. We have hopefully solved a couple of our issues here. We had somebody who was spawned at the same gate as us, and we had a sound issue where I had plugged in my other headset, and of course Windows had automatically sent all the sound, routed all the sound to it, which meant you guys were not going to hear it on stream. So not not ideal. But we've got that problem fixed. Now we are back, and we're going to hop in the flight deck for another adventure here with the Aerosoft CRJ. So there we go, much better view of it, and we can see there's another CRJ parked right next to us there. We are here in Halifax today. This is FSIM Studios Halifax. It's a beautiful piece of scenery. Look at it. I mean, it is really, really well done. Just the fact that you have seats inside the terminal really kind of adds a whole other dimension. It's not a picture on the window. It's actually there. It's actually modeled as transparent glass with seats in there. It just adds such a level of realism that you can't get by pasting a picture on a window. And Halifax is a relatively small airport, so you can get away with it. Bigger airports, might not be able to get away with it because it's just going to overload the frame rates too much. But at a small airport like Halifax, you can get away with things like this. So the only trouble with this now, and then of course the guy just logged off, who was parked at our gate, is that now our tug is gone. Our tug was planning to be at that gate, and now I don't know if it's going to come over here or not, but let's see what we can do here. We will get the jetway over here, and in order for that to be of any use at all, we should probably open the door and get ourselves underway. So if anybody wants to join us tonight, we're going to be doing a little bit of a Canadian cross-country tour here. Not the whole thing tonight. With the Chief Captain in Moncton, if we manage to make it there in one piece, we'll see you again on the way to Montreal. Okay, yep, no problem. Squibbly, but it's nice to see you. Glad that you could make it out for part of this. I'm really looking forward to being a part of Moncton Monday. It looks like the weather's kind of lousy, which is great. That's a good thing, because it just makes more fun and adventure. Yeah, sorry, that was open, and then that needs to be up. And chocks are in. Because I slewed it from one gate to another, it moved the chocks. So, but there we go. So we're going to get started here. But yeah, we're doing this. Basically, what I'm going to do is we're going to do a cross-country tour. So we're going to do over a couple of different streams. We're going to visit some of the better scenery that's available in Canada right now for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Starting with, of course, like I said, Halifax FSIM Studios. Halifax here is just fantastic scenery. It looks really good, day and night. It looks, it looks lit, but not overly bright, not cartoonishly bright. We're going to go from here to Moncton, which there's a great, I can't remember who developed it. It's on the Aerosoft store. I think it might be Aerosoft themselves, or it might be one of their developers anyways. But it's on the Aerosoft store. There's a great Moncton scenery. And then from there, we're going to go to Montreal. And there I'm using a freeware scenery. There's not any good payware sceneries yet, but there's a really good freeware scenery. So we're going to go do 2 legs tonight. Halifax, Moncton, Moncton to Montreal. Please feel free to log in and joining us. And yeah, no problem. It's a little bit earlier than I would normally do. I'm going to try and squeeze it out there as best I can. I may have to step away from the flight deck for a little while just after we take off, probably for Montreal. But yeah, let's see what we can do here, anyways, and have some fun here and take advantage of Moncton Monday, because this is probably one of the best events on VATSIM in terms of regularity. It's right up there with the FNO. It's not necessarily as well known, but it is just every single Monday night, regardless of what's going on. The guys in Moncton staff up at least part of their FIR, and you can just depend on it. Regular as clockwork. Every other FIR aspires to reach this level of infamy with this, but very few people can achieve it. It's so hard to kind of get that regular night out there. But Moncton has done it for years and years now, and they're still doing it. So we're here to take advantage of it. All right, so Let's do this. While I'm doing this, I'm just going to see if I can get some baggage loaded. I'm going to see if we can get call a fuel truck as well. And yeah, let's get this whole thing underway. And before I forget, of course, there's me. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Nice to see. Wow, nice to see so many of you watching today. Wow, that was pretty quick. Everyone got in there, so maybe this is a good time of day to stream. We're going to hop in the flight deck now, so I'm going to put on my trusty red cap. It's not particularly attractive, but it's just really useful for the track IR. It was an old hat I had. I had it taped on there for a while. The tape kind of fell off, so it's just kind of clipped on there. Hopefully it doesn't fall off. I found tape was really nice for kind of making sure this didn't slide off the hat when you moved your head really suddenly, or if you put your hat down really hard or something. So anyways, let's hop in the flight deck as we always do and get this thing fired up and ready to go. And I do have a different checklist I'm using now that I found that it's just a little bit different, but it does almost all the same stuff. It's a little bit better because there were a few items that were missing from the basic CRJ checklist I was using before. So safety check for today. Hydraulic pumps are off. Steering is off. Flight spoiler lever is 0 and landing gear lever is down. Slat flap lever set to the actual position. Which we'll say is up. Radar is off. ADG manual deploy is stowed. Emergency flaps are in the normal position. And let's get battery on. A big button. Now that sounds really quiet to me. I don't know if you guys agree. I'm just looking at what's kind of coming out here. I'm going to turn up the audio a little bit here because it looks like it's fairly quiet. But it could also be my headphones, so please, I think that's a little better now. You don't want too much ambient noise, but you want to be able to hear the chimes and stuff. All right, the other thing we're going to need to do is just get some lights on here really quickly so I can see what I'm doing as I do this. Perfect. All right, so APU, AC electrics are established. Hydraulic pump 3A goes on. Parking brake is set. External lights. So we need the nav light and the logo light for flying at night. And emergency equipment we would check. Fire extinguisher, crash axe, flashlights, escape rope, flotation devices, all those things. Flight documents and logbook, we would recheck those to make sure everything is good for the flight. Flight deck door check, and the gear and ADG pins, we would make sure they're removed. And that concludes the safety checklist. And one thing I will say is it's so nice with the ambient lighting in the sim. I just want to take a moment and just appreciate it. I could just make out the nose wheel steering switch. In most of the airports, it's so dark, you have to have the flashlight mode on, or sometimes I cheat and I turn daylight on for just a couple seconds while I get the all the light switches turned on in the aircraft. But there's enough ambient light just coming from the gate area here that I could just see what I'm doing there without having to cheat by turning on daylight. So how nice is that? All right, and it should be this one right here. There it is. There we go. Perfect. All right, so we got all the integrated lights on, and we can start setting up. Do we have the dome light on? We do have the dome light on. It's a little bit dim, but it's on. All right. So the most important thing is, of course, to set up the FMS, and I'm going to go ahead and pause it on here, and I have my FMS on my trusty old tablet here. I've got a kind of position right near my throttle quadrant, right where an FMS should be, which is kind of fun. So I'm just going to go ahead and use that as an interface, because the one thing I do like is to try and avoid the constant clicking with the mouse all day long. I realize it kind of makes it a little bit less intuitive for those of you watching the stream because you can't see where I'm pressing, but I don't know how many other people suffer from this, but I suffer from simmer's elbow. After a whole night of flying on my sim, my elbow gets really sore and my wrist gets really sore from just clicking everything with the mouse. So if I can change my input from not always being a mouse, but to being some other things as well, so being a tablet that's a little bit more intuitive, I find that just not only does it add to the immersion, but it just, when you're doing a lot of flying and interacting with an FMS system and typing a lot of stuff, very quickly you can get a very sore wrist clicking on stuff constantly, and a sore elbow from kind of moving your wrist in weird, awkward ways. So I'd like to use these interfaces for that reason as well. All right, so today the first flight is a really short one. It's Halifax over to Moncton. All right, I use the default SimBrief flight plan. It's a low-level route. Now our alternate today, it's kind of, I don't know if you noticed there on the stream, but it is snowing outside, and it's kind of lousy weather in both Moncton and Halifax. So we are going to use Quebec City as our alternate. It's pretty far alternate. It's a little bit unusual to use an alternate that far away for a short flight like this, but really most of the East Coast is kind of having a blizzard right now, so it's not going well for them. Let's just check here. We should have an ATIS up in Halifax. I'm just going to request it on my vPilot window here. Visibility 1 1/2. Light snow, blowing snow. Broken clouds at 1100 overcast. All right, so we're going to have to do some de-icing today. 2971. Approach runway 32, landing and departing runway 32. So we're going to use runway 32 today. So we can go ahead and do that. Flight plan. Our flight number today we are flying Canadian Express. So I am supporting by VA here today. Canadian Express 472 is my call sign. Please don't steal it. And what do we need? We need a routing here. So it's pretty straightforward. Halifax, Victor 313 to Moncton. So YHZ, and then Victor 313 to Moncton, VOR. Did I type that wrong? Yeah, I did. My fat fingers did not hit the right button there. There we go, YQM. And then I'm going to use, I'm just going to quickly check the weather in Moncton as well. It's a short flight, it really is.
Thanks, have a good flight. See you later.
So FS2 crew decided to close itself. I have my C button is my push to talk, and as I hit it, as I was talking, it activated and decided to shut itself down. So let's see, winds 360 at 15, so probably 06 in Moncton for arrival. Departure arrival, Moncton. ILS 06 is what we'll plan on. I don't even know which way to do. I think AFTIG is more appropriate for our direction from what I can recall. I haven't used it before. I've used the other one, which I usually come from the other way, so I think that's right. Anyways, we're going to see as we go. We could definitely change it, but it's a short flight, so we want to try and get it right. Perfinit page, and let's go ahead and jump this back over to our Perfinit page here. Did that fuel truck ever show up? Because I don't think it did. How much fuel do we need today? 9,200 kilograms. We've got 9,860. So we have enough fuel for the flight, including our long alternate. I think we're booked at 58 passengers today. So and I bump up the cargo weight a little bit as well. And then let's go ahead and transfer that information to the simulator. And let's just do it easy way. We just copy that over there. So now our Perfinit data, our ZFW is already in there. And while I'm on this page, I cheat a lot. Let's do snow conditions today. And it's probably pretty accurate at this point. All right, so we've now got our Perfinit page. If I can just zoom in a little bit there for you guys so you can kind of follow along at least. Cruising altitude, I checked it already, 16,000. And even that sounds a little bit high for the flight to Moncton. It's only about 100 miles, but that's what we've got. That's what SimBrief specifies, what we filed, so it's what I'm going to put in there. We may not make it up that high. Let's see, also looking for alternate. Our alternate today, Quebec City, we're going to need an altitude of flight level 400 to go to our alternate. All right, page 2. Quick check of the winds. So 244 at 24, and we're looking at minus 21. 244 at 21 because it's such a low level. Oh, and what did I not set up? I didn't set up my, oops. I didn't set up my self-loading cargo, which I like to use on these flights. So give me 1 second. I kind of had most of the stuff set up, but I didn't have everything set up before I started. So, all right. We're going to use an Air Canada theme just because it's just easier. Import from SimBrief, make sure the time's correct. 0130, yeah, 0225. Okay, you know, we might be a little bit late, but that's fine. All right, go ahead and start that up. And we'll start boarding right away. All right, I'm just going to move that off of here for now. You guys can watch it if you want. See how they board. All right, and page 3, we just have the ETD. We don't need that. And we really don't need the target speed either, because I normally change to Mach 7.7. 16,000 feet, we're not going to get to Mach 7.7. We're still going to be flying 300 knots. So that's all good. The only thing I haven't done is I didn't set a flex temperature for takeoff, which actually I'm not going to set today because I assume the runway is snow covered. And most aircraft, when you're doing departures from a snow covered runway, you use full thrust. They don't reduce the thrust whatsoever. All right. Carrying on. So we've done with the FMS there. All right, we're going to go ahead through the overhead panels just to make sure everything's set up and get the battery on. DC service is off. Generators are all auto. Fire detection test. That's all good. Lights are as required. And fuel pumps are in operate now. They will go on when we're ready to start the engines. The bleed system is normal, auto close, and both engines. That's all correct. The APU, we can probably start it at this point. And all the start switches are in. The hydraulic pumps 3A is on. Let's just do a quick hydraulic pump test. So we come up to the hydraulic screen and we just make sure we have pressure in all three systems when the pumps are on. And then when we put them back to auto, they should all lose pressure. And you can see they're all going orange one at a time. The pressure's dropping to 0. Put the 3A pump back on. And at this point, if I return to the status page, APU door is open. We can go ahead and hit the start button for the APU there. All right, ELT is in the arm reset position. The passenger oxygen switch is out. We need to increase the cabin pressure just a little bit. I believe it's about 230 for the field elevation in Moncton. So should set about 240, 220, 240. One more click should do it. All right. Let's see, the switch is in hold. Air conditioning packs will go on. The APU will come on in a second. Recirc fan on. And manual temperature controls we don't need. Anti-ice, we can turn the windshield heat on for now. We're already detecting ice, so we're going to need the cow engine anti-ice as well for takeoff. But we'll wait till we start the engines. Fuel is already done, so we've got the battery, or the fuel, the lights are all on. And emergency light test, it should say emergency lights on. Why do I not see emergency lights on? Emergency lights armed. Passenger doors, that's fine. We are still boarding. All right, so lights are good. Let's just check here. The ATIS is information Foxtrot, and the altimeter 2971. Alright, I am kind of going through this pretty quick because I do want to try and get 2 flights in tonight, and in order to do that, we really have to kind of get going quickly. The first flight is super short, the second one is quite a bit longer. So I am kind of speeding through the setup as fast as I can reasonably do it here. I'm just going to turn the displays down a little bit so they're not so bright. Check the stall protection system. Let's see here. We'll test the cockpit voice recorder. The speeds are already set. There's the 5 seconds. The green light goes on, and we are in FMS mode. That's good. Moncton departure. I'm pretty sure it's 5,000. I'm going to set 49 until I get the clearance. A little trick we use. If you see a number that ends in a 9, you know it's probably not a SID altitude. You know you probably forgot to get the clearance. Alright, speeds are set. Headings.
Good evening and welcome aboard Air Canada.
Runway 32 here in
For your safety and comfort,
Halifax.
please show items identified with a white tag under the seat in front of you.
Alright, give me 1 second. I'm just going to check my
On this aircraft,
charts
bags
on my
should be
tablet
stowed
here.
vertically in the bins rather than flat. Thank you for helping ensure your travel with us is safe, comfortable, and on time.
I don't even have the right charts up here, but let's get them up here. Halifax. Alright, runway 32 is heading 323. There's 323. Alright, the altitude we got set there. Turn off the anti-skid, turn it back on. Pass the test, it should go away.
Overheat.
Gear bay test. Overheat test. Lamp test. Alright, that's good. And put it on dim. Alright, thrusters disarmed, disconnects are in, spoilers are off, the thrust levers are shut off, flaps are up. Gonna tune the radio in just a second here. I'm just going to get my stab trim, mock trim, yaw damper all on. Oh, what did I not do when I started? I did not turn on the IRSs. That's why they're not aligning. Hi. Well, now we're going to wait for them to align. Son of a gun. Well, I still got to do the briefing, so hopefully. What am I looking for here? Position it in. That's what I'm looking for. So, and now it's aligning. Okay, that's why it's taken so long to align. My checklist does not have it in the safety check. It has it at the start of the flight compartment check, which I wasn't really following along very closely, which is not smart of me. That's okay. You live and you learn in aviation. Things change, you do your best to kind of learn the new ways, and there's always hazards when things change, so got to do our best to learn. Alright, so I'm just going to pop this out for a second, so we're going to do a trim check. Check the aileron trim there. And the rudder trim. Yeah, it's pretty close. Alright, and I think that's just about it. We can probably call for a clearance now, so let's see who's online here. We do have a Halifax Tower, 118.4. So let's get him up here. Only thing I find with these 533 kilohertz spacings, boy, it takes a long time to dial them down sometimes. 18 and a quarter, I said, right? No, 18.4. There we go. Alright. And I've gotten in the habit now of just using Notepad rather than actually getting a piece of paper and writing my stuff down here, so. Halifax Tower, good evening. Canadian Express 472, requesting IFR clearance to Moncton.
Express 472, Halifax Tower, hello. Your audio was coming in very, very quiet.
Alright, stand by. You know what, I didn't switch this either.
Jazz 2100 clear on Foxtrot. Or sorry, on Hotel.
Jazz 2100, welcome to Halifax. Taxi Hotel into the apron, have a good night.
Hotel into the apron, Jazz 2100.
Alright, Halifax Tower, Canadian Express 472, how do you read now?
Express 472, yep, that's perfect, reach 5 now.
Alright, IFR to Moncton for Express 472.
Okay, Express 472, stand by 1.
Okay.
Canada 1013, wind 3, or, sorry, 1 airborne, contact terminal on 119.
Night out here.
Winds are 350 at 16.
Various airplanes parked out here.
Clear for takeoff, runway 32.
Airborne 119.
We are going to take a quick trip to the DeIcing gate too. We'll try to make it as quick as we can.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 32, Air Canada 1013.
Alright, while we're waiting for our clearance, one thing we can do is we've got the APU on, so we can take the GPU off. Remove that.
Okay, Express 472, you ready for clearance now?
Go ahead for Express 472.
Okay, Express 472, cleared to Moncton via Halifax for departure, flight planned route. Runway 32, squawk 4307.
Alright, Canadian Express 472 is cleared to Moncton via the Halifax 4 departure, flight plan route off of runway 32, squawk 4307.
Okay, Express 472, read back correct. Push and start at your discretion. Call for taxi and ATIS Golf is current.
Okay, we had Foxtrot, we'll pick up Golf, and we're positive DIs this evening for Express 472.
Express 472, roger.
While we're at this should be relative. Alright, there we go. Okay, so Halifax 4 departure off runway 32, flight plan route 4307 is in the box. And so this is still aligning, but we can do a real quick brief on here. And actually, I should have my Navigraph charts here. I don't know why I'm using my tablet when I should be doing this with you guys here. Of course, yeah.
Air Canada 491, line up runway 32.
Line up and wave, runway 32, Air Canada 491.
Why are you not remembering my login here? I just logged in earlier today, for crying out loud. One thing about Navigraph, I find you constantly have to log into the system now. The logins do not last long enough. Okay, there
Tower
we go.
Walker 985 with Golf ready to taxi.
Walker 985, runway 32, altimeter 2973, taxi via Alpha. Apron
Alright,
discretion,
so,
Delta, Kilo,
we are,
runway 05.
in the event of any
short
other
runway
failure, the
32.
problem during taxi will stop. This will be a left seat takeoff malfunction. And it's prior to the V1 of...
Taxiing to runway 32 via Alpha, Delta,
one?
Kilo, cross
21?
runway 5, hold
101.
short
I'll
runway
stop.
32, Walker
Close enough, leave this apply
985.
max brake, disconnect the there is no auto throttle. Apply max for first stop on the runway. If the calls go around or above, we want to continue to take off at 400 feet. I'll call heading mode. Bank and ask to identify the failure. The failure procedure off runway 32 and Halifax straight ahead. Once stops, the climb will call for any requirement. We enter secure its checklists.
Roger.
There, did I rattle that up fast enough? Okay, so for the actual departure today charts, we're dealing with, we're going to go over here for DeIcing on the apron just over here. And then after that, I'm expecting we're going to go Delta Kilo, crossing runway 32 to, or crossing runway 23 to get to runway
491 winds.
SID is the Halifax 4 departure off of runway 32. And it's pretty straightforward vector SID. Runway 32, climb heading 323 is assigned for vectors, maintain 5000 north sign.
One
No
airborne
special notes
contact,
on this one. So,
119.2, clear for
have a
takeoff,
quick
runway
double
32,
check
Air
here.
Canada
We've got
491.
a heading of 323, and we now have an altitude of 5,000 feet set. And that is it. Terrain. Should have checked the terrain while I was there. Terrain 2200 is the highest around Moncton, around Halifax, excuse me. The weather is snowing, so we're going to de-ice, and we're using a full power takeoff today because of that. Operational. I didn't see the MELs or NOTAMs that affect our departure, and yeah, noise abatement. Just fly the SID. That's all I've got. Any questions? All right, let's do before start checklist down to the line. So APU is on, electrics are checked, hydraulic pumps are auto and on, seatbelts are on, pressurization is set. I had it here, but constant changing the screen here, 240. Altimeters, we got 2971 set and cross-checked. FMS IRS 8 cars, we're just waiting on the IRS to finish aligning here, but the FMS is done. Flight instruments and avionics are set and cross-checked, and the takeoff briefing is complete. The before start checklist is completed down to the line. Alright, so we can probably close the door, as long as we don't move the aircraft. That's what matters, don't move the airplane. My FS2 crew also closed itself there, so I'm just going to restart the Pushback Express. I will say that the integration is nice, and you don't have to go out of the sim to do any of this stuff. It is quite handy. Alright, so we're basically just waiting to make sure we get the IRS aligned, and that's basically all we've got. So I can do this. Cockpit to ground. Flight deck to ground.
Go ahead, flight deck.
We will be ready in a minute.
Roger.
Oh good, we are going to get a tug. Is he going to pull the tug around? I hope.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. From the cockpit, this is your captain speaking. I would like to welcome you aboard your Air Canada flight.
I can also cheat one other way here. It doesn't look like he's going to do it. The other thing I can do is I can pull up a pushback helper
All the signs are illuminated. Please make sure your seat belt is fastened.
and click the tug button in that, and it might force the tug to connect. Because normally when FS2 crew, when you say you're going to be ready in a minute, that's what triggers the tug, which should be parked there, to come and attach to the aircraft. But because we had moved gates from over there because somebody else was parked there, alright, so let me try it one more time now. Now it's going to connect properly. There we go. So instead of triggering it to connect, what it did was it triggered it to spawn the tug instead when it did it. So now that we've got that, I can close my pushback helper, I think. Nope, he doesn't like me. Does not like me. Really doesn't like me here for some reason. Gonna try it one more time. In the meantime, we can close the door. Park brakes on so we can remove the shocks, because I always forget that as well. And while I'm at it, I'm going to start my CX-8 cars, my virtual airline tracker here, and then I think we're ready. Just waiting for this ACAR system to align itself. Let's see if I can find out how long before it's going to be ready.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking, and on behalf of myself, the first officer, and the cabin crew, I'd just like to give you a warm welcome on board the aircraft. As you may have noticed, we've now closed the doors and expect to be departing in just a few moments. If you could get yourself seated and secured while we get ready for pushback, it would be most appreciated.
I swear there's somewhere in here. I found it before.
Above your head, and be sure to listen to the safety briefing that we'll be playing in a few moments. You'll hear from me again once we reach our cruising altitude, but for now, once again, welcome aboard, and thank you for flying with us.
I can't remember how to find out. I swear there was a way to do it, though. Oh, time to nav. There it is. IRS-1, IRS-2. Time to nav. Still 3 minutes to go, guys. I'm sorry. We're going to sit here and just talk about nothing for a couple minutes. But we don't have to talk about nothing. We can find something to talk about. I did have a couple things that I did want to talk about, and again, some of it is a little bit interesting. There's all sorts of stuff coming down the pipeline right now. But for those of you that are regular users of my channel, regular viewers of my streams here, I do have my pilot's life career. I did kind of take a next step to it. And that is that I did apply to another airline to fly for a different airline. Not that I was not enjoying SkyWest and I wasn't enjoying the CRJ, but I just kind of wanted to change it up a little bit. So I applied to, and I got accepted to work for American Airlines. This is going to be kind of fun because, first of all, American has a very diverse route network. It also has a very diverse aircraft fleet. Also, they're going to pay me a pretty good salary too. They were, out of all the airlines I applied to, they had the highest salary, so I'm going to get a fair bit of money for this. But the big thing is that I have now selected already a new schedule to fly for our pilot's life. So I've got the next set of my streams sort of already up here and ready to go as soon as we finish this. As soon as we finish this kind of Canada tour that I had planned out, I've got this ready to go. I had selected American because they're a 737 operator. However, the side benefit is that because they're a big airline, they operate all kinds of different aircraft. One thing we can do is we can go and we can use the fly-by-wire A320 for the time being. If the PMDG 737 is not released by the time I'm ready to start this tour, this schedule, we can use the 320 to fly these same flights until we get to the point where the 737 is released. So rather than pause and wait for an unknown period of time until that 737 releases, we can use the 320. And I've even been trying to use the FS2 crew integration with it the last couple of days, and I find actually it's quite good. A little awkward at first, mostly because it's a new sim, so it's being approached a little bit differently than FS2 crew was being approached in the previous sims. But overall, it's a pretty good. It's a pretty good FS2 crew. And again, the 320, the fly-by-wire 320 has some shortcomings. It's not perfect yet. There's lots of stuff that kind of needs to be worked on within that simulator. So, yeah, but we do have a schedule here. It's a pretty good schedule. Most of these are the default airports in Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is great. DFW, JFK, Los Angeles.
Clear for takeoff, runway 32.
And then I have a few other ones that I have that I need to purchase pay receiving for LaGuardia. I already have Miami, Burbank, Orbex. That's a great Burbank. There's a Des Moines as well, so it took me a little while to find a schedule that had all good payware scenery or good in-sim scenery, handcrafted sim airports. But we now have a schedule, so we have something to look forward to. I wanted to just do this cross-country tour of Canada anyways. I thought it would just be kind of fun. So, but this is what we're going to be looking at. Is probably we'll pull out the 320. We'll do these first couple of planes, these first couple of flights in the 320 until we get the 737 in our hands, and then we'll switch to that. But yeah. We're going to keep on flying this pilot's life, so yeah, a little bit of good news there. Is it initialized yet? It's got to be almost there. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. Honestly, I've been toying around with the 320, the fly-by-wire 320. I hadn't touched it for quite a little while, and I started toying with it again, and it's actually quite a lot of fun now. It says time to nav 0, so it's pretty much almost there. But yeah, some stuff to look forward to. Some of those are long legs. There's like a JFK to Los Angeles leg, so that's going to be a good one. There we go. It's done. All right. Let's do before start checklist below the line. So EFB, PFD, PEDs are in airplane mode. Doors are, and we should just check this. Closed. Fuel pumps and quantity. I should be doing this, but fuel tanks are on. And 9,200 kilograms is required, 9,700 kilograms on board. Beacon is on. Steering is off. The transponder is going on. Parking brake is set for the moment. And fuel check valve test will do on the start. We are ready for pushback and engine start.
Roger. Release the parking brakes, please.
Let me just look behind me before we do this. Yeah, no, we're good. Brakes released.
Pushing back.
Now I feel like it might be... No. I think it got confused. Yeah, it got confused, unfortunately. So in order for the tug to stay there, I had to have pushback helper running. And pushback express did not like that. As soon as I removed pushback helper, close pushback helper, there goes the tug. So, yeah, I'm going to blame this today on the fact that I had to move gates because somebody was parked there, spawned right on top of us. So, just wait for him to finish hooking up again, and we'll go ahead and do this. Oops, I thought he was done. And now we're leaving him behind. Hilarious.
You are clear behind, and you can start your engines at your discretion.
Alright, starting engine 1. And we should have the status page up for this. Oh, look at this. Is it going to work?
Halifax Terminal Jazz 2100
Yeah.
with you again, looking
See,
for
pushback helper and pushback express are kind of competing to control the tug now. So
Jazz 2100 Halifax Tower, welcome back. Cleared to
100%.
Moncton via the Halifax 4 departure flight planned route. Runway 32, squawk 4313, or correction, squawk 4314, 4314.
There it comes.
Who
Who else is
over to
coming to
Moncton
Moncton?
via the Halifax 4 departure flight
I hear
plan.
someone
Expect departure off of
doing the
runway
same thing
32
here.
and squawking 4314 for Jazz 21.
That's 2100, read back correct. Push and start at your
Oh,
discretion.
I pushed the
Call
wrong way
taxi.
because we're de-icing. Ah, shoot.
We'll call you. Thank you, Jazz 21.
Hi, Captain. The cabin is
Stop
clear.
pushback.
All doors, contact.
Pushback
ready
complete.
to go.
Set parking brakes, please.
Okay, thank you.
Brakes are set.
Roger. Okay, the tow bar is disconnected and the equipment is clear. We will see you on the right-hand side with the pin.
You are clear to disconnect and go to hand signals.
Thanks. Have a good flight. See you later.
Alright, I am enjoying the idea of having FS2 crew at my disposal again, and apparently another piece of good news is that they are on the verge of releasing FS2 crew for this airplane, which is a little bit of a disappointment, only because at this point I am so close. Now I'm moving on from the CRJ to something else, which is just a little bit of a disappointment. Oh, we didn't get the takeoff up there. So a little disappointed. Not terribly disappointed, but a little bit disappointed. I will still fly the CRJ, but I just won't be flying it on stream at all. And now it's connecting the tug again. Wow. FS2 crew and pushback helper are really confused here. Go away, tug. We don't need you anymore. They work really well when they work, but every once in a while you'll just get something where things will not quite work the way they're supposed to. The systems will kind of get a little bit confused, and then it all kind of goes downhill. Yaw damper is still off for some reason, so let's turn it on again. I thought I turned it on, but there it is. Now it's on again. It'll be nice to have FS2 crew in this airplane, though. This is an airplane that, especially because you're manually flying it, it's one that you're going to really benefit from having FS2 crew having a first officer at your disposal. Okay, so they're gone. So let's go and make sure that we've got this all done here. I'm going to go ahead and start shutting down the APU and after start checklist. So generators are auto. APU is turning off. Packs are on. Cargo air is off. Anti-ice. We are going to need the engine anti-ice for this one. Probes are on. See how look at all the stuff I'm forgetting here. Electrics. We're supposed to check the electric page for this. I've been reading a little bit of SOPs on flying the CRJ, so I'm trying to be more and more realistic as I'm kind of learning as I go here. But thrust reversers armed. Trims, we've got 7.5 units green. Green. Stab setting 7.5. 7.5 required. BTMS is checked and takeoff data is set and cross-checked after start checklist is complete. And Halifax Tower, Express 472 on the apron taxi for DICE.
Okay, Express 472 taxi to DICE at your discretion. Call ready for taxi again.
Alright, DICE at our discretion. Call ready for taxi, Express 472. Alright, yeah, we faced the wrong way. That was my mistake. I kind of forgot for a moment of what we were doing there, doing a quick de-ice. So we're going to take a little tour over to the de-icing bay here in Halifax. Going to need a little bit of power to kind of mosey around this corner here. And this is a de-icing bay where they are designated pads, but they don't really have like center lines. There's usually a marshaller there to kind of help you find where you should be. So I'm just going to sort of position myself in a sort of an out of the way spot here. Get out of the way of these guys that want to taxi. And I turn the taxi light on, but we're pretty much right here. So there's a marshaller here that's just getting ready for us here. Alright, so we'd set our parking brake. I don't have the de-icing checklist with me, but basically, usually it's something to the effect of bleeds off, packs off. You usually do bleeds off, packs off, and make sure the parking brake set, the slats and flaps are up. The trim is usually set to a takeoff position. Sometimes it's 0, sometimes it's a neutral setting. And then you tell them you're ready for the de-ice. We sit here for a couple of minutes. They spray the wings. Just using our imagination today, but you guys know what it's like, but we've come over here anyway, so now we can go ahead and get the bleeds back on, and then we usually have to let the bleed sit for about 3 minutes. And what they didn't do is I didn't cycle the power switch in the APU. Just let the bleed sit there for about 3 minutes before you can start the. I wonder if the timer works on this. Let's see if the timer works on this. Nice, we do have a timer. So 3 minutes after we've turned the bleeds on, any de-icing fluid that might have got caught in the system, we can burn it out of the bleed air system before we turn the packs on and start sucking air into the cabin. So most aircraft will have some kind of checklist similar to this. There usually is a checklist. I don't have it with me. I think I did see one earlier, and I should have printed it when I had the chance. But basically, that's what we would do. Halifax Tower, Getting Express 472, de-icing complete, ready to resume taxi.
King Express 472, runway 32, altimeter 2975. Taxi via Delta, Kilo, cross runway 05 and hold short of runway 32.
Runway 32, Delta Kilo, cross runway 05, hold short of 32. Correction, King Express 472.
Right.
Alright, so the de-icing equipment's all clear. As soon as we are no longer aimed at these guys here, we'll get our taxi light on. Well, we'll catch up to you on the second leg. Ah, there we go. Now you can see some of that snow flying. Alright, there's a minute and a half. Cut in front of whoever that is. Oh no, this guy's pushed back in front of us here. I don't think we can get by here.
Halifax Terminal Jazz 2100, ready for taxi.
Jazz 2100, runway 32, altimeter 2975. Taxi via Delta Kilo, cross runway 05.
It's a busy little evening here in Halifax, and this is kind of the fun part of it.
Another CRJ passing behind you, it looks like.
Hey, Delta, cross runway 05. Kilo to runway 32, and we'll follow the CRJ.
Looks like they've actually stopped for you.
21 left.
And Canadian Express 472, yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to squeeze by behind, so we'll keep waiting the Jazz. Should have dome light off now as well. I'm doing a big no-no and streaming at night. I totally didn't even realize it. There he goes. And now I get to really kind of watch and enjoy Velocity a little bit. This is kind of the first time I think I've streamed with Velocity, being able to watch how smoothly this aircraft's turning. I don't know how many people really kind of remember how bad it was before, but something like this, like a turnout like this, it would have just been so choppy. It would have been here, here, here. It would have been very, very abrupt, and now it's, relatively speaking, it's very nice and smooth. You can see every kind of little turn he makes. That 5 updates per second makes a huge difference, especially when you're kind of maneuvering,
30,
changing
12,
direction quickly on the ground or whatever.
Altimeter 2975, taxi via Alpha Juliet, hold short of runway 05.
I was not thinking about the fact that I...
Alpha Juliet.
What am I doing here? Sorry. I'm going to see if I can... So that turned the gamma correction up a little bit on my screen. Just hopefully makes it a little bit brighter, a little bit easier to kind of see what's going on, because it is kind of dark out here. Alright, the other thing I didn't do, actually, I'm being a bad simmer here, is I didn't turn on the nose wheel steering, first of all. Wow, this is a new checklist. I'm not really kind of used to it. It's a little different from the other one. I am not used to this. It's not going well. Clear on the left, clear on the right. So I didn't turn on the nose wheel steering. I would have realized that right away, but I also didn't do the flight control check, which I should also do before we take off. It seems like they do it on this checklist. They do it kind of later, so. All right, I'm going to go ahead and disarm. Now that I've got the airplane going the way I want it to, I'm going to disarm the nose wheel steering for a second. Check the elevators, ailerons, and the rudder. And then I can put the nose wheel steering back on. There we go. And that's after start. Below the line is rudder's checked and the steering is armed. I did not do that correctly. So I am learning a new SOP here. It's a little bit hilarious. Alright, so now that's done. Back to the status page here. Nope, didn't press it. There it is, status page. Alright, and alright, so set takeoff flap 8. So again, the SOPs that I've been reading now, they set it usually as you're approaching, just as you're just about to do the before takeoff checklist. They even say in that SOP I did read that you can use the nose wheel steering. Alright, that's been 5 minutes now. So we can go ahead and get the packs on. Eliminate our caution messages, so that's good. And let's do the before takeoff checklist. So flight controls are checked, flight instruments are checked, fuel cross feed is manual, and one is 84.1 checked. And this one
2100, airborne contact terminal.
Rise briefing runway is going to be runway 32 on the Halifax 5. The stop altitude is 5,000. The engine out is straight ahead. Flaps 8 required, 8 set. And cabin. I'm still waiting for these guys to notify me. Unless it already notified them. I don't think it, oh, yeah, no, they are secure now. Okay, perfect. Good, good. So it did notify them. I didn't even push the button, I don't believe, that I recall. Alright, following the other CRJ. Hold short. But it is just amazing, like, how much smoother things look now with velocity. Any abruptness is just due to the streaming codec at this point. I'm going to just try and sit here and just watch him take off very smoothly here. Pause the track higher for a second so you guys can see exactly what it looks like here. Just amazing how smooth that looks. So much nice flying.
472, line up runway 32.
Line up runway 32, Canadian Express 472. Alright, line up only on 32, 19.2 for departure, so let's get that up here while we're... And I'm just going to stop for... It's hard to do stuff in the dark sometimes. So just hold the brakes for a second, let's get the frequency ready. I should have done this earlier, but anyways. Alright, 119.2, runway 32, sign runway 32 in the box. Alright, line up check.
Just gonna have to wait for traffic departing the intersecting runway there off the 05.
Okay, we checked that holding on runway 32, Jet Can Express 472.
Terminal Jazz 2100 airborne passing through 1200 for 500 runway heading.
Still tower.
Alright, we'll turn on the
3012 and airborne contact terminal 119.
See what I'm doing.
Wind 350.
It is dark out there and snowy.
21, clear for takeoff runway 05.
Strobe is still on from when I crossed the other runway. I forgot to turn it off. So much stuff going on, trying to do it all by myself here. FS2 crew is going to be nice for this airplane.
Steeper 3012 when airborne, contact terminal on 119.2. Winds are 350 at 15, gusting 21, clear for takeoff for runway 05.
Alright,
we can go ahead and turn that light off.
05. Good evening.
Alright, line up check cabin is advised, transponder is on, ignition is off, anti-ice is, engine anti-ice is on, engine displays 1 and 2, checked and clear, and the lights to go with the takeoff clearance. Alright, I'm just going to move this out because I just want the full effect here on my screen. I'm going to adjust myself here, but make sure that I'm happy with my position here for the takeoff run. She's going to be windy, snowy, but nevertheless kind of fun here. This is kind of a good night to actually do streaming, do flying, because it's actually a little bit nasty out there, which is just that much more fun. Hopefully we can actually find the runway when we get to Moncton. If we don't find the runway, we're going to have to go all the way to Quebec City. I don't even see that other traffic. I don't even recall if he said he's taking off 05 or 23. I think 05 with the winds. It's kind of a little bit that way, so I don't even see him. Hard to tell with all this snow too, it really is. Nothing like sitting on a runway. Make you kind of wonder how long before an airplane tries to land on top of you. I believe in the U.S. they have a time limit of 3 minutes. If a controller does not think takeoff's going to occur within 3 minutes, they have to either not line the aircraft up or taxi them back off the runway. Because there have been accidents where planes have been sitting on a runway waiting for takeoff clearance and someone else has tried to land on top of them. Because the controller forgot that they lined somebody up and hadn't cleared them for takeoff yet, so they've imposed a time limit. Which is sensible. I don't like sitting on a runway forever. I do not see this guy anywhere.
Okay, Express 472, airborne, contact terminal 119.2, winds 350 at 15, gusting 21, clear for takeoff, runway 32.
All right, terminal 19.2 in the air, clear for takeoff, runway 32, Canadian Express 472, thank you. All right, lights on. Lineup check is complete, and here we go. Toga. Check. E1, rotate. Gear up. Alright, heading mode. Alright, and speed mode, we're going to do autopilot on. VT is 190, so we're going to go VT plus 20 is 210. Flaps 1. Flaps up. And we'll do departure. Climb power in there as well. Departure, good evening. Canadian Express 472, 2800 climbing, 5000 Halifax for departure. Get the wing anti-ice on as well.
Canadian Express 472, Halifax terminal, good evening, stand by.
Right.
Halifax, you got me now?
Canadian Express 472, I got you identified through 3600, proceed direct to Moncton VOR and climb 16000.
Alright, climbing to 16,000, direct to Moncton VOR, and the altitude checks, Canadian Express 472.
Paper 3012, proceed direct. I got you identified, proceed direct,
Speed 16,000.
Walker 1316.
Sorry, altitude 16,000, I should say.
Walker 1316, air check.
Walker 13, I reach 555.
Alright, and direct to
Okay, Walker 1316,
VOR,
right immediately, heading
execute, let's go
175.
LNAV,
150, right turn.
FMS 1. Go ahead and go a little faster now that we're turning on
And
course.
Halifax Terminal, hello, Jedi 6, Lima Alpha, with the
250
information
and-
hotel descending 10,000.
After takeoff checklist, landing gears up, flaps are 0, fuel cross flow is auto,
Scenario
leads
75 with hotel
are
on board.
set, APU is off, lights are as
Paper
required.
3012, proceed direct to D, Sydney VOR and climb.
Thrust reversers are off,
Flight level 300.
engine displays checked and clear, and the cabin we're not going to release because it's going to be a darn short flight. Alright, so are we turning
direct
towards
to Sydney VOR on
something
course and
kind of like
level
Moncton? It looks like it wants to still fly this kind of,
Direct Sydney, 350,
it's heading for a little while longer here.
Jedi Standard Kilo Bravo descent 4000.
Alright, yeah, it's set that as the point where it's going to turn. It will do this turn in Moncton eventually. But we are underway, and there we are through 8300, and right away we have to turn
95
around.
contact, Moncton Center 1244.
Ladies and gentlemen, we encourage encourage
24-4, Walker 985. Good night.
Smoking is prohibited on board.
That's going to be us next. Anywho, we're going to get charts up here for Moncton because we're going to need them right away.
Then we'll be offering a hot meal. After the meal, we will be offering our duty-free service prior to landing.
And just a second here.
Visit the eat and drink section on your
Just minimize for a moment here, please.
High-speed Wi-Fi service.
Do I have a Moncton ATIS? I do not. So again, I'm going to just check it on VPilot here through the network, and it's oh, the visibility went way up, 8 miles now. Is that 8 miles? 6 miles. No, 8 miles. Yeah, it's 8 miles. Much better. Much better. Still 360, 10 gust 16. So I'm going to still say we'll do the ILS to runway
Approach Pacific Airways 1100 with you, flight level 230 down to 12,000.
Alright, so let's pull up that ILS to 06, 1097, 061. And I think I did take down, right?
975 on the altimeter as well, I think.
Alright, we're through 10,000. Let me just reprogram this really quickly here. ILS 06. ICDEM is the one we want. Execute. Direct.
And Terminal Zulu Kilo Hotel, we can take the RNAV Zulu 32 back with you, then we can do a local. Kilo Kilo Hotel, check for
doing now.
Thank you.
He says over
and
over again. I do not like the way he's trying to fly this, so I'm going to go ahead and go direct to Moncton that way. Just using heading mode because the FMS seems to keep wanting to fly this vector like first. It's really annoying. So we are through to 10,000 really quickly here. Lights off, seatbelts. I guess we can take them off for a short period of time here. Looks like we're above the weather. The ice detect has gone off, so I'm going to go ahead and take the wing and engine anti-ice off. Really quick flight here though, and we're already.
Just 2100 contact Moncton Center 124.3.
Moncton Center, thanks for service, Jazz 100.
Zulu Kilo Hotel, proceed direct Gaba.
Alright, so we're going to be looking for 300 knots in cruise here at 16,000. It's already capturing. And as I said, we need the ILS. We need 1097, 061 the inbound course. So just going to really quickly set these up here. 1097. Okay, and because there's 300 knots right there, so let's get the power set to just sort of maintain 300 knots without overspeeding the aircraft here. Trying to find like just an ideal little power setting there.
Direct MBAX descent to 4,000. Direct MBAX
to 4,000. Coming from the left there, so.
Beeper 3012, contact Moncton Center 132.2.
Ah, that looks better now.
Yes.
Now I see. Now it looks like it's going to maintain a nice track for us here. Alright, I got a power setting that's working for me there. The inbound course again, 061. So I just need this to kind of establish itself. What I can do is in the meantime, I can dial this guy in here.
Pacific 1100, reduce speed to 230.
061.
Done to 230, 1100.
Just trying to dial in the FO side there. There it is. And as we roll out on a heading, then I can sync the heading bug, put it in heading mode really quickly, put it into loc mode here, and select 061 on our side.
472, contact Moncton Center 124.3 CM.
Oh, 124.3, connect, press 472, thank you. Alright. Here we go. 124.3. So I was listening and paying attention, and I did it early. Alright, so now we're back in
frequency information, Juliet current, and
we put nav back on,
the winds
and now it's
are
tracking.
020, 10 gusting 16, altimeter 29 or 88.
29 or 88, did he say? Wow, it's a big altimeter setting difference between these airports. It's only 100 miles apart. Moncton Center, hello. Canadian Express 472, 16000, direct Moncton VOR.
Canadian Express 472, Moncton Center, good evening. Moncton landing runway 06, altimeter 2988, information Juliet current. Are you able the ILS runway 06 approach?
Hey, firm, we were planning on the ILS 06. We'll pick up the ATIS there for Express 472.
Okay, Express 472, roger. What able proceed direct ICTM? It'll be the right-hand bedpost 06.
Very good. Direct ICTM now. Can I Express 472? Thank you.
472, roger.
No, it doesn't like doing that. I wonder if I can do direct deck. Why is it making such a sharp turn? I heard people screaming in the back.
Walker 985, you're close to the Moncton Airport, ILS runway 06, ICTM transition.
Cleared ILS runway 6, ICTM transition, Walker 985.
Alright, let's see if we can do this here.
Jazz 2100, run ready, descend 4000.
Alright, down to 4000, Jet. Oh, scratch. That was not us.
Down to 4000, Jazz 2100.
Okay, Express 472, when ready, descend 6000, Moncton altimeter 2980.
Alright, that one's 6000, thank you, Canadian Express 472.
Check numbers.
We all make mistakes. I'm going to start down now because we're only about 15 miles away, so we kind of need to start down already here. Alright, we're going to figure this out in just a moment here. Just trying to get ourselves all briefed up on this approach really quickly here, so try not to overspeed while we're doing it. We're going to do, there's no arrivals, just straight into the ILS 06, Moncton, New Brunswick 11-1, 30th of October 2020. Loc IFG 1097. I've got 1097 selected both sides. And final approach course 061, I have selected both sides. The glide slope at AvTig is 1610, and the ILSDA we should set 425. So let's set that right now. Is set, and I definitely need to increase that rate of descent. Let's see where 1500 puts us. Even that's not quite enough. Let's make sure we're level early. Alright, airport elevation at 225. We do have 240 set for the landing elevation. MSA's highest is 2,900 feet. This approach is climbed to 3,000 feet. Just keep watching the speed here in the corner. 3,000 feet, auto heading at 061, straight ahead, expect vectors. There's a comm failure, missed approach procedure as well. We'll read that if it comes to it. Safe altitude to the 100 miles is 4,000, and localizer level is 10 degrees. Centerline, many training areas, all quadrants. See the VFR terminal procedure charts. We're doing the ICTM transition, max to 10 knots, 4,000 feet, case it's a max of 190 knots. And RVR 2600 or half mile SSALR lighting system. It's quite nice now. Landing on 06, we're going to take a convenient left turn off the runway. We may have to backtrack if we miss Foxtrot. So we'll try to make Foxtrot. If we miss it, we got to backtrack a little bit. So we'll see what happens there. I think we need to descend just even a little faster. Terrain again, 2200, I think I said. 2900 is the highest, so 3000 is the highest. And weather is, it is snowing, but it's definitely 8 miles visibility is definitely a lot better now. Operational, no temps that I saw, no MELs, and fuel, Quebec City, we need...
Jazz 2100, reduce speed 200 knots or less, please.
200, Jazz 2100.
I feel like a slow down's coming for us as well. So we'll just get the idle thrust here. Let's see, Quebec City, we need 3240, 245-ish. And we're just
Jazz
getting
2100, you're number 2 for approach.
We're number 2,
All right.
Jazz
And
2100.
the only thing I haven't done is I haven't got my speeds yet, too. So ZFW 62.3 plus 8,000 in the tanks. We're looking for 60. So we're looking for about 70,000 pound numbers. 70,000. Yeah, 70,000 pound numbers. I've got my takeoff and landing sheet here, so I'm just going to pop it up here. 70,000 pound numbers are open. And it's going to be a VREF of 136.
Jazz 2100, you're clear to the Moncton Airport, ILS runway 06, ICDM transition.
Let's just see if there's a tower controller up
ILS
in Moncton.
06, Jazz.
No, just the approach controllers, that's okay.
Walker
Good.
985, you're number 1 for landing.
Here comes 10,000.
Roger.
Seatbelts back on, and approach checklist. Alright, so lights are on. Pressurization is again set to 240. Cabin altitude, or sorry, cabin is advised. Altimeters are 2988 set and cross checked. And landing data is set for 70,000 pounds. Approach briefing is complete. Alright, we'll bring that speed bug back while we're at it. We're back into the clouds here as well, so we need the anti-ice on. I'm really not even paying attention. I don't know if you guys are chatting much. Doesn't look like you guys are talking too much, which is good because I don't have time to pay attention to it anyways. This is a short leg.
Walker 985, keep the speed up to the fast.
We'll keep the speed up, Walker 985.
For now, we're going to target speed 210. We can go a lot slower than that, actually.
Jazz at 2100, if able, speed 18 knots or less, please. 180 knots.
18, Jazz 100.
And I'm going to just flip on my VATS by here really quickly with my other
Case
computer.
472, descent 4000.
Descent 4000, Canadian Express 472. Feet set. And I'm just curious to see who all is flying here as well. Who are these people? Because I recognize some of the voices. Yeah, that's what I thought. And Lucas, you're already there. I don't see any Montreal controllers online. Maybe some will log on later tonight. No guarantees, but we'll always hope. Alright, I can see the traffic ahead on the approach. It's supposed to be a max speed 210 at, what is it, ICDEM? ICDEM. It's supposed to be a max speed 210, so let's go ahead and start throwing out some speed brake, because we are going to level off, but we're going to level off probably not soon enough to lose that speed. And I really cannot see anything out there tonight at all. There's a few lights out there. But yeah, I'm kind of violating my rule about streaming in the dark. I was not even thinking about it. I boot my sim up in real time all the time. That's just what I do when I boot my sim. And in this case, it may have been too much. It's just really dark out there. Slendy says, "Rich just got this plane and I love it." Yeah. It's a fun plane. It's a lot of fun to fly. It's a lot of work. That was my first impression of it when I first started flying it, especially after takeoff. It's a heck of a lot of work to kind of get everything done. And I'm going to let the speed continue to drift back. Flaps 1. And just continue, confirm Canadian Express 472. Can we track the RNF fixes inbound?
Canadian Express 472, firm. Yeah, you're cleared to the Moncton Airport, ILS runway 06, active transition.
Alright, very good. Cleared the ILS 06 at Moncton ICDEM transition. Canadian Express 472. Alright, that's a little slower than I wanted.
472, roger.
No, but actually 170 is not too bad, knowing that we have traffic ahead of us. Leveled off.
Walker 675, you still with me?
Inbound, we can go down to 3,000, so let's go down to 3,000.
Jazz 2100, do you still have that traffic in sight ahead of you?
No, negative, sir. We lost their lights, Jazz 2100.
Alright, a little slower than we should be.
2100, roger. Okay, stand by 1. I think he disconnected.
I got Loke and glide slope armed. A little slower than I want to be right now, but...
Jet 2100, we'll do this. The wind's 020 at 10 gusting 16 near clear land runway 06.
Clear land runway 06.
Right, so it's tracking inbound. Look at this. It's VMC here. I can actually see what's going on outside. Nice. We got some lights outside because it's really dark.
I do see a beacon.
I always stream in real time. I don't think about.
100, Roger. Yeah,
I don't think about the fact that it's dark most of the time. But
okay,
if you guys want to,
the wind's 020 at 10 gusting 16 altimeter 298 to your number 2 following traffic 8 ahead.
Okay, number 2, look for the traffic, Express 472. Alright, there's low. Get that heading around to 061. Doesn't want to sit for me, so I'll just do it manually. And there's glide slope. Coordinate altitude, we did say 3,000, right? I should put this into night mode here. There we go, that's better. Yeah, 3,000. So 3,000 feet is set. And yeah, let's target a speed of 170 if we can. Just because I know we're number 2, I don't want to catch up to the guys ahead of us too quickly here. Kind of put the power up, and boy, she really gained some speed, especially because we're going downhill too. But I can see the lights in the distance. This is Moncton over here on the left. That's the actual city of Moncton, and then the airport's just off to the east side of the airport. Or the airport is off to the east side of the city there. Spend a lot of time going back and forth to Moncton these days. All right, let's go head gear down because we're just not getting enough drag out of this thing here. Arm with thrust reversers again. Flaps 20. That'll put some drag on this thing. I don't have it quite at idle, do I? No, I don't actually have it at idle. I don't have a detent. There's a detent, and then there's actually a thrust reverse range, so I don't have it in. I don't have the detent on my throttle quadrant, so I can't feel it. I'm just sort of doing it by looking. I don't think I see the. No, I don't see the traffic. I don't think somebody's sending me private messages here. Yeah. I will answer that in a minute after we've landed here. All right, let's go flaps 30.
Jet 2100, welcome to Moncton. You can continue echo into the ramp.
Oh, he got off at echo, did he?
Jet 100.
Okay, Express 472, the wind's 340 at 7 knots, altimeter 2990, you're clear to land runway 06.
Clear land 06, thank you, can Express 472. All right, target speed for this approach is 141. Do have the engine anti-ice on? I do. I should actually get the wing anti-ice on because I do have the ice detect going off as well. So the wing anti-ice on. We're a little bit slow here. Let's get 141 knots, please. There we go. That's a little better. Trend's a little better. All right, and landing checklist. So cabin will say is advised. Thrust reversers are armed. Flight spoilers are 0. Ignition system is off. Landing gear is down 3 green, and the slot's 45 set. The landing checklist is complete. Cleared to land. Just coming up to 1,000 feet here. Perfect. Stable just in the nick of time. So what did DHC 212 want? Dan wants to get back into Canadian Express. Yeah, it's just a fun airline to fly for. They also do a really good job. They're a nice community. They do a really good job with custom liveries. Like this airplane looks really, really nice on the inside. A little bit hard to tell in the dark, but they do a nice job painting their airplanes. It's just a nice community. They've got some really neat tours too that I really enjoy doing. But yeah, it's just fun. It's a well-known airline in Canada too. All the controllers in VATSIM know this airline quite well, so it's quite amusing to think that it's, it's a fictional airline, but it's caught on so well. All right, coming up to 500 feet, we are stable. Speed's just a tiny bit faster than I'd like. Just a tiny bit of power off and disengaging the autopilot.
400.
That button. I was pressing my push to talk.
300. 200. Sync rate.
I get the sync rate warning so often in final here.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
That was a bit of a firm landing there, but anyways, get some thrust reversers going in there. Not going to make echo. Yeah, it's a little bit firmer than I would like the landing to be. Just roll to Foxtrot. There's 16 knots. Thrust reversers stowed.
Okay, Express 472, welcome to Moncton. You can turn left Foxtrot into the apron at your discretion. Have a good night.
Okay, left turn on Foxtrot, taxi to the apron. Can Express 472, thanks.
Until the seatbelt sign has been turned off. Smoking is not permitted. Mobile receiving and transmitting.
All right, and we've made it.
Before
Just get
leaving
that
the
out of the
aircraft,
way.
please check to ensure you have all your electronic devices.
Let's do
If
the
you
after
have a
landing
connecting
flow.
flight, please refer to the screens inside the terminal or consult with one of our colleagues on the ground. Thank you for choosing Air Canada. Member of Star
Strobes
Alliance
off
for
as
your
well.
travel
Oh, it's
today.
so hard to
We
taxi
hope
this
you had a
airplane in the
pleasant
dark.
flight and look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank
The
you and
taxi
good
lights are
evening.
back on the wing roof, so it's so hard to see what you're doing in the dark on this airplane. Hopefully there's a parking spot for us. It seems like Moncton is a little bit popular tonight. Alright, let's get the APU going as well. Engine anti-ice off. Alright, and after landing checklist, so we got lights are set, ignition is off, cargo air is off. Oh, no, actually, that was, I pressed it already, didn't I? That's why the start light was on. Son of a gun. Anti-ice is as required. Probes are, so anti-ice is, we'll say it's all off. Probes are off. Flaps are up. Radar is off. We never had it on. Transponder is going to stay on for the taxi to the gate, and the APU is starting. Fuel check valve test. We have to start. We have to do at the end of the taxi in here. All right. For some reason, we're just grinding to a halt here while I'm doing my checklist. So, caught up to the CRJ. There we go. That's good fun. But yeah, I like this airplane a lot. It's got a lot of good features to it. There are a few issues with it here and there I still encounter. Like I said, like I almost always get a sync rate warning on final. Even if I'm nice and stable on the ILS, I seem to always get the sync rate warning on final. So there are a few still glitches with it. The direct twos don't always work very well, especially if like we're coming off a vector leg and then you're doing a direct two. I find they often don't work well. So there are issues with the aircraft, but overall, yeah, it seems to work very well. I hope there's room at a gate for us, because in Microsoft Flight Simulator, self-loading cargo does not work if we don't get a gate. And yet it looks like every gate here is occupied. We're going to be parking off in the grass here. There's something over there at that gate, so I don't think we're going to get to park. I'm just going to turn the nose light on just so I can see a little bit better.
Walker 767, Moncton Center, go ahead.
Too bad. So now self-loading cargo is not going to trigger and end this flight properly, so I may just cancel
yes, both Moncton
altogether.
Awesome.
That's one of the few kind of problems, quirks with self-loading cargo right now. I just need to see if there is actually room to park over there. We are just going to be parked out in the boonies today on my Canadian Express airplane. Trouble with flying an event night. All right, hilarious. Yeah, I am parking out here in the boonies because there's nowhere left to park. Unfortunately, every gate is occupied in Moncton tonight. It's hilarious. Just gonna keep the lights on so I can sort of self-marshal myself into this last spot here. Well, at least I have to say this, at least thank goodness this airplane has air stairs. And you know what, this is a real pity too, because self-loading cargo is really happy with me today. 92% satisfaction rate. Which I almost never get a satisfaction rate that high. But
7 has Zeta's kilo, and we're looking for part of Halifax. Walker 67, Walker 767, standby 1.
Alright. That is good enough for me. Alright, let's get the parking brake on. Dome light on as well, because that makes life a little bit easier. Alright, that's not going to work at all, so too bad. Alright, the APU is on, so we can go ahead and shut the aircraft down. And the first thing we do is we cut off that one. Then we kill the fuel pumps, and we should again get the warning. And then we can shut down engine 1. go ahead and jock our aircraft, pop open the door. And we're going to leave those up. We're not going to bother with ground power because it's a pretty quick turn here today. And otherwise, we'll get the beacon off. We'll do the shutdown checklist. Parking brake is on.
Please open doors. Thank you.
Alright, parking brake is on. Electrics are set. Anti-ice is all off. Thrust levers are cut off. Seatbelts are... I didn't do that. Seatbelts.
Walker 767, I don't have a flight plan for you. Are you able to refile?
Seatbelts are off. Fuel pumps are off. Hydraulic pumps staying on auto. Beacon is off.
How do you have it now?
Steering is off. Hydraulic quantities.
Have your plan dispatch ready, copy.
Yeah, they look good.
Go ahead.
Transponder. Stand by. And
Walker 767, roger, you're clear to the
debrief complete. All right, so
Halifax Airport.
here we are in Halifax. Unfortunately, the one problem I have now. Yeah, the one problem I have now is my self-loading cargo will not work because the one problem with self-loading cargo is the only way it detects doors in Microsoft Flight Simulator is when the jet bridge is attached. If I can't park the gate with a jet bridge, this is useless. So I have to just terminate self-loading cargo. We're not going to deal with it for the rest of this flight. Or our next flight either. Okay. I'm just going to
767, roger.
just step away from
at your discretion. Information kilo current, altimeter 2990.
All right.
You can
yeah, so that is the...
06's got kilo on the top tank.
Snooze, you lose. That is the... yeah, thanks a lot. All right, so that's leg one. I'm going to come back in just a couple minutes. I'm going to take just about a 5-minute break myself, and then we're going to just turn around and set up for departure back to Montreal. It's a bit of a longer flight, so we'll have a bit more time to chat and cruise. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Stick with me for a couple minutes. Like I said, I'm going to be back in just like 5 minutes, and then we'll get the second leg underway. If I can find my way. Disregard the time on that.
Center Walker 176 on the ground at
I forgot
Moncton.
that time was on
pick
there.
up IFR to Halifax with kilo.
All right, back on the flight deck. I am sorry. Sorry that took so long to get back here. So let me just put myself back up here. There we go. All right, sorry about that, guys. All right, let's get this next leg ready to go here. So I've just got to refile really quickly here to make sure we've got a flight plan in the system. And I did. Where can I do this here? I should be able to just reload this from earlier. I had planned it out. There it is. And we can go ahead and do this. All right, so let's regenerate this and refile it. And we'll get this back underway for leg number 2. Sorry guys, just bear with me while I file this really quickly here so that ATC's got our flight plan. We can do this quick turn here. I wish we could make self-loading cargo work, but it's not going to work for us, so that's fine. And the other thing I have to do as well is really quickly reset my ACAR system. Doesn't seem to want to reset. Alright, let's close it. Nope, maybe it will work. It did reset. Took a couple seconds for it to reset. Alright, and let's just check a few things here. Altitude, we need to file flight level 360. And we are flying the CRJ yet again. Passengers as well. As soon as I get all this paperwork done, we'll actually start getting this all underway here. So we're looking at 62 passengers for this leg, and last but not least, the routing. Pretty straightforward today. All right, and that is ready. All right, back in the flight deck, guys. Sorry again for that delay. That was, like I said, longer than I had anticipated being away for. Ended up actually taking the time to read to the kids because it is reading time, and they happen to be ready just at the right moment, so I said, okay, we'll read really quick. So reading a series of unfortunate events, which is a really good set of books right now. I'm really kind of enjoying it. It's a good story. It's a good set of stories for kids and even for adults. There's a lot of humor to it, a lot of interesting little stuff. It's an interesting mystery to try and work out. So, like I said, I've really kind of enjoyed reading it. All right, so let's get this underway here with working into our FMS again here and get this next leg planned out. All right, and actually the other thing we should do is also make sure we have enough fuel for this leg. This leg's going to need 8,800 kilos. Well, not too bad. We are at 79 right now, so let me just zoom in back here for a second. And what did I say? We need 8,800 kilos. So let's get the fuel panel turned on. And 8,700 kilos. There we go. Whoops, way more than I probably needed. Alright, let's do that. 9,000. It'll stop at 9,000. Unzoom myself here. Get us zoom back in on here. And let's go ahead and start this again. So, index. We don't need to start position in that. We just need to start with flight plan again here. So we're going from Moncton this time all the way to Montreal. It's quite a bit of a longer flight, but we can talk about some interesting stuff that's happening now. And I believe the alternate I had filed was Ottawa. Flight number does not ever change here. At this airline, the flight number is assigned to each pilot individually, so that number is mine until I retire from this airline anyways. What was I looking for? Yeah, Ottawa. Yeah, Ottawa is the alternate. All right, so depart. I assume we're going to depart runway 06 on the Moncton 5. We'll get a clearance in a little bit here, but that's what we've got set up here. And then just a handful of fixes here. So we're doing BMEC, Odd Boss, and the Ombre 1. So BMEC, Odd Boss, and the Ombre 1. And what I'll do is I'll probably just do this. Departure, arrival, Montreal, estimating runway 24 right, vectors, and it's the Ombre 1, Odd Boss transition, and let's just check that out. And then yeah, so Odd Boss right out of direct from BMEC. There we go. Now, one thing, of course, that does seem to happen in the CRJ, especially when you try to do a second flight plan, is it really tends to get very confused. And you can see it's got the same fixes in here 6 or 7 times. So I go to the end, I take the last time I see the approach fix Lona, bring it up to the first time I see the approach fix Lona here, which is there. And then, as you can see, Ombre is repeating itself here as well, so let's go ahead and just merge those all up. Now I've removed all the duplicates, that's a little better. Alright, the CRJ, the FMS is pretty good, but it's not perfect. It does have a few issues here and there, which are kind of annoying to try and deal with. Alright.
Walker 176, Halifax is offline, surveillance service terminates, change on frequency.
Let's get,
over to en route, good night, Walker 176.
Good.
So we're dealing with 62 passengers on this leg, I said? Yeah, so... Alright, init fuel from aircraft. We do have 9,000 kilos on board the aircraft now, which means I can also shut down the fueling panel. And I can then, so I sent that over, I copied that to the FMS, and I can set the runway conditions as well. There we go, 122. Alright. So we got that all set. What's our cruise altitude to be? By the way, I already looked at it once, 36,000 feet, so 36,000. Cruising for the alternate is also going to be 18,000. It's not as far from Montreal to Ottawa if we have to do it. 18,000 feet there. And just quickly set up our performance here. ISA of ISA of +4, 256 at 53. +4, 256 at 53 for the average wind in cruise. And then VNAV setup, and now we can do it. SimBrief always plans us to cruise at 0.77, so we change that as well, and that's good. Alright, and then we are ready. That part is all ready. We can just go through a quick overhead flow. We don't really have to change too much because everything is already set up. We just need to verify we haven't turned anything off. It needs to be off, but everything
Walker
appears to be
767,
on.
same to you. Surveillance service
Approach
terminate.
off.
Change to on frequency is approved. Good day.
Alright, and let's see here. Let's just check and see what we got for an ATIS here. It looks like the Moncton Monday is fading out. It's already getting a little bit late. We should hopefully just at least keep this for departure. 2990 on the meter, so it's altimeter's going up a little bit as we go here. And I don't remember what the Moncton departure is, 39 I think. So I'm going to set, or 4,000, so I'm going to set 39 for now. Put us back in FMS mode here. And the heading should be 061 still. It looks like, no, I didn't quite set it correctly when I landed. So there we go, 061 for the heading. And I believe that's everything there. Alright, so let's do this. Let's do a, let's get the clearance really quickly here. And approach Jazz, correction, Canadian Express 472. Looking for IFR clearance over to Montreal. I keep wanting to say Jazz. I think he's still online. I heard him a second ago, I swear.
Canadian Express 472, roger, class on request.
Okay, thank you. Just acknowledge so I know that you heard me, and I can carry on. While we're waiting for the clearance, we can pull up the taxi chart. So the emergency is previously briefed. The taxi out in Moncton today. For departure runway 06, we'll probably go out Echo and then backtrack to full-length departure runway 06. Moncton 5 departure off runway 06. Plate 10-314 May 2021. No big notes on the plan there. It's runway 06, heading 061 or as assigned. We do have 061 set. Maintain 5,000 or as assigned. Just waiting for the clearance to come in and we'll set 5,000. Terrain, the highest MSA around Moncton is 2,800 feet. The weather is, doesn't look like it's snowing here, so we won't need to de-ice. Operational, no TAMs, MELs, nothing affecting our aircraft, and yeah. That's basically it for my really quick departure briefing. I want to get this leg underway. I don't want to be sitting here forever trying to get it done. So really quickly trying to get some of this stuff ready here. The APU is on. And what we can probably do is we can probably close up the aircraft at this point. We'll close the door. Parking brake's on, so we can go ahead and pull the chocks as well. Alright, while we're waiting, let's do the before start check. Down to the line, so APU is on, electrics again. Electrics checked. Hydraulic pumps, auto on. Seatbelts on. Pressurization, didn't set that for Ottawa, I believe 380, so that should just about do it. But I have to have the status page or I don't see it. 380, perfect. Altimeters, 2990 set, cross-checked. And the FMS, IRS, and ACARs are all set. Flight instruments are set and cross-checked. Takeoff briefing is complete. Before start check.
472, I have your clearance badge ready, copy.
Okay, Express 472, go ahead.
Okay, Express Roger, you're 472, sorry, you're clear to the Montreal Airport. Moncton 5 departure, flight plan route, depart runway 06, squawk 4405.
Canadian Express 472 is cleared to Montreal via the Moncton 5 departure and our flight plan route off of runway 06, squawk code 4405.
Okay, Express 472, thank you, read back is correct. Push and start at your discretion, call me for taxi information, kilos current.
We'll call you when you're ready for the taxi, Express 472. And kilo, huh? Let's just check and see what I got. We do have kilo. Oh, and now it started snowing again. Why did that do that? I must have clicked there by mistake. I wasn't even looking. I was looking over here. We do have kilo. Yeah, 2990. Yeah, it is light snow, so we're going to have to go to the ice again. What is going on? What happened to my APU? What happened to my APU? now everything's been wiped away. You've got to be kidding me. What happened to my APU? Why did my APU stop? Son of a bugger.
Door.
Everything's gone now. My whole flight plan's gone, isn't it? Ah! What the hell happened to my APU there? Why did the door open? What is going on with this airplane all of a sudden?
Zulu Kilo Hotel, you're clear to the Moncton Airport, RNAV Zulu. Runway 06, take in transition.
Wait a second.
Zulu Kilo Hotel is cleared Moncton Airport, RNAV Zulu 6.
I know what happened.
Zulu Kilo Hotel. Zulu Kilo Hotel, roger.
Here, disagree.
Oh my god. Very frustrating. I know what happened though. I must have clicked one of these buttons. Ugh. Ah! So now my whole flight plan's been wiped out of my FMS. I can't even see what I'm doing up here anymore. None of these switches are visible. Okay, we're gonna take the cheat because I'm starting to get a little frustrated. What the heck? Ah. Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah, Center Zulu Hotel, there's
frack attack.
Something wrong with the satellites or something right now because can't seem to get any RNAV GPS data. So we'd like to do the NDB for 6 straight in if possible.
Okay. And so we have the dome light
Zulu
back
Kilo
on.
Hotel, roger,
So
stand by.
let's go back to real time. I gotta reprogram the whole thing. I just did it. Everything's wiped out. No, the transponder code is still there, but everything else is bloody wiped out. How really, really annoying. Okay. Really quickly program this in again. I must have hit like the ready for start button or something. CYUL. At least it was a very short and relatively simple route to program in here. See how fast I can do this now. Alright, so the routing
Zulu Kilo Hotel,
was
roger. You can expect vectors for the NDB approach, runway 06.
BMAC.
Maintain present heading for now.
Can maintain our present heading for now, Zulu Kilo Hotel, thank you.
See, now I'm trying to go fast, and I'm
And
doing a
Zulu
poor
Kilo
job
Hotel,
of typing.
you can descend 3000.
3000, Zulu Kilo Hotel.
Alright. Planning 24 right vectors. Ombre 1. Odd boss transition.
Zulu Kilo Hotel, turn left 10 degrees.
Left 10 degrees, Zulu Kilo Hotel.
This time, because I started from scratch, everything seems to have really kind of worked out nicely here. We don't need the vector leg, we're Lona, direct transition. There we go. Alright, and let's go with the perf init page here. I'm just going to do... hopefully this didn't get wiped out. No, this did not get wiped out, so... At least I can do that really quickly. 38,000, I believe it was 18,000 to go to Ottawa. I don't remember what the winds were. I've completely forgotten. I hate that. Something happens, you lose the power and you lose everything. It's +4, 256 at 53. 256 at 53. Alright.
Count 1013, runway
Fortunately,
06,
this is not as complicated an FMS as
would you like
some
intersection
aircraft,
departure
so
at
it actually
Echo? It'll be
set
6500
up
feet
somewhat
remaining.
quickly here, but even this is all... Alright, so let's just take away that. We got our clearance, so we can set 5,000. At least the IRSs don't have to align again.
10-10-13, no worries. We'll give you full length there. And so you can taxi apron discretion echo, backtrack 06, advise ready to go.
5,000 feet. The heading needs to be 061, and the speed is already set.
10-13, roger. Seminole
Right.
Zulu Kilo Hotel, turn right heading
Let's do this again.
030
Make sure he's in the right position. APU. Before start checklist down the line, APU is on.
And,
electrics.
Cleared NDB 06 for Zulu Kilo Hotel.
Checked. Hydraulic pumps. Nope. See, and this is why. Auto and on. Seatbelts are on. Pressurization is set. Altimeters, we've got 2990 set and cross-checked. FMS's, IRS's, and ACARs are all set. Flight instruments and avionics are checked. And takeoff briefing is completed. The before start checklist is complete down to the line. And I think below the line we're ready. Let me just check my other thing here. Yep, that's one thing. I just need to check my other tracking system and make sure it's good to go. Flight planning, really quickly load from SimBrief. Yes, and that one. All right. Below the line.
Zulu Kilo
All right,
Hotel,
EFPs,
reduce
PFDs,
final approach
airplane
speed.
mode.
I'm going to get
Doors
one
are
traffic code for you.
closed. Fuel pumps. So
Okay,
we've
reduce
got
final approach speed, Zulu Kilo Hotel.
fuel pumps are on, and the quantity required is 8,800, and we've got 9,000 on board. And beacon is on, steering is off, transponder is going on, and fuel check park brake is set. Before start checklist is complete. We're not doing a pushback, so we're just going to start right here. Clear on 1, starting engine 1. Just so annoying. Redoing that whole thing. So annoying. Just when you think you're just about good to go. And just...
Aircan 1013, will you be ready for immediate departure?
Sounds like a nice busy day even here in Moncton. Sounds like the traffic following us over here.
1013, roger, on the turnaround, call me airborne, the wind's 3407 knots, declared immediate departure, runway 06.
It's snowing, it's not snowing. It's snowing, it's not snowing. Alright. It stops snowing again. Get those guys to give us a tactile inspection. They'll have a look at the wings. They'll say, hey, yeah, no, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty clear. Looks like I'm the last guy here at the party, too. The gates were full when I got here. Now nothing. Turn those displays down a little bit because they're a little bit almost obscenely bright. I like a nice dark flight deck at night. I do. I don't like to see really bright lights everywhere. All right. It looks like a normal start on 1. Start engine 2. Let's turn his lights down as well. Da, 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 da. There we go. It's a little better. And we can even turn these lights down. I believe it's here in the corner. Somewhere I know there's a brightness switch for this. All right. Anyways. Fortunately, the CDUs are not too bright anyways. 20%.
Zulu Kilo Hotel, yeah, you're number 1. Traffic will be rolling 06. Continue inbound.
Come on. Give it some fuel, give it some power. I think because like this is just sort of a fun tour that we're doing, and I'm not doing this necessarily as part of my pilot's life career. I'm a little bit more casual about it tonight. I'm just enjoying the fact that we've got some good ATC online. But I am looking forward to getting FS2 crew in this airplane. I think it's going to be a fantastic addition to this airplane. It's going to help make things flow a little faster, make things a little more realistic, a little more usable. Like I said, like the first time I got it, the first few times I got out of this airplane, I felt like it was a lot of work. Alright, so the windshield heat was not on for some reason. And mock trim, stab trim, none of this stuff got turned on because of the reset, so...
Zulu Kilo Hotel, the wind,
removed all those.
F3,
Alright, after start...
Clear line runway 06. Clear to crash 06, Zulu Kilo Hotel.
We'll put the engine anti-ice on for the taxi out because I'm expecting that we're going to need that. Alright, and the after start checklist. Generators are auto, and again, electrics. They really like to check the electrics to make sure it's all transferred properly. Electrics checked.
Canada 1013, thanks for identified that. Turn left, heading 140.
Packs are
320.
on, cargo air is set. Anti-ice. Electronic probes. Engine anti-ice is on, probes are on, electrics, again, checked. What? I'm looking at the wrong checklist here, aren't I? I keep looking at the wrong checklist, that's why.
Cat 1013, you can also climb to level 280.
Are armed. Trims are green, stab 7.5 set. BTMS is checked, and takeoff data set and cross checked. And this time we won't forget before we taxi out here. Flight control check at the gate. Elevators, ailerons, and the rudder.
Cat 1013, you can continue that left
After
turn.
start below the line, so rudder is checked and the nose wheel steering is armed. After start checklist is complete. I'm just going to taxi straight out from this gate here. I did remove the chocks, right? Nope, I did not. Try it now. It's amazing how much better that works when you remove the chocks. Alright. Marshaller's out of sight. Taxi light off. Taxi light on. Dome light off. Trying to ignore the fact that it's snowing. Because I am apparently being a bad pilot this evening. I just want to get this next leg underway here. When you try to tackle two legs in one go, you really kind of feel like obligated to kind of get moving in a hurry. At Moncton Center, Canadian Express 472 on the apron, ready for taxi.
Canadian Express 472, roger, runway 06, altimeter 29990. You can continue your taxi apron, your discretion to Echo, hold short to Echo at 06, get traffic about mile final.
Okay, holding short of Echo taxiway on the apron, Canadian Express 472. Alright, so he wants us to hold short of Echo taxiway because I think he's got someone inbound that might want to use it, so we'll just hold here for a minute. Get the park brake on. There it is. Park brake on. And, oh, there's the aircraft on final for 06. There we go. Alright, and we're slowly getting there. Now we got the longer leg for the day. Let me just make sure my ACAR systems are both tracking here. Yep, that's tracking, and yeah, that's tracking. Okay, good. Where'd he go? I lost him. Oh, VATSIM. Gotta love VATSIM. Just vanished. Just gone. Just gone. It's fine. No big deal. He was there, unless he's already rolled past us or something, but I didn't see him.
Zulu Hotel, welcome to Moncton, right Delta, cross runway, correction, right Delta, Charlie Alpha, cross 11 to the ramp. Have a good night.
Good day, look on Charlie Alpha, where we want to go, should field on night.
Okay, so 472, Seminole will be vacating Delta. You can backtrack runway 06.
Okay, had the traffic, seem to have lost him for now, but backtrack runway 06, Canadian Express 472, thanks. Alright, backtrack's approved. Alright, so flaps 8. And before takeoff checklist. So flight controls are checked, flight instruments are checked, fuel cross flow is going to manual. We got strobes on for taxiing on the runway. Clear on the right. I don't see the Seminole anymore. I saw him when he was on final. And I've lost him now. N1 is 83.6. Rise briefing is going to be runway 06. The Moncton 5 departure stop altitude is 5,000, and the engine out is also straight ahead here in Moncton. I just don't know where he went. I saw him when he was on final and disappeared as far as I can tell. So, flaps are 8 set, and the cabin is, we'll say, secured. The before takeoff checklist is complete. And we got just a little bit of a backtrack to do here, so we'll do the lineup check just when we spin around into position there. A little bit of light snow. I should have stopped and de-iced the airplane. I do enjoy even the snow effect looks pretty good. Like, especially here at night, like it just sort of pops into view, pops into the lights. And I mean, if I take the lights away, the snow just is no longer visible at all. So there you go. Now it's not snowing at all. I turn the nose light on. I see even a little bit more of it. But that's a really well done effect where you can only see the snow when it's captured in your captured by your lights. A lot of really well done visual effects in this, and there really are. Right, there's runway 11 as well. And it appears to be clear left and right.
Okay, 1013, contact Boston Center now, 134.7. Have a good night. Yeah, thanks for flying. Okay, Express 472, call me airborne. The winds, lost him here. The wind's 3407 knots, you're clear takeoff from a 06.
Okay, cleared to go 06 and call you in the air, can Express 472. It's not an easy plane to spin around on this runway here. Alright, and a quick lineup check. Once we get spun around into position here. You have to carry momentum in the CRJ. She does not turn well at low speed. She stalls out the turn, and then the tail-mounted engines don't provide any differential thrust, really. They just simply try to push the fuselage along, which doesn't work when your nose wheel is cranked 90 degrees, so or close to 90 degrees. Anyways, all right, lineup check. Cabin is advised. Transponder is on. Ignition is as required. The anti-ice is engines are on. And engine displays 1 and 2 are checked and cleared. Lights are on. We're good to go. All right, here we go for leg number 2 tonight. All right, takeoff. Check thrust. Knots. B1. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. So weird not to hear self-loading cargo's calls now. Alright, heading mode. Heading. And then speed mode, autopilot on. Climb power. Oh, probably didn't reset that. There we go. And speed needs to be set to 210 again. Flaps 1. Keep on overdoing it with my flaps lever, flap 0. Moncton, can Express 472 airborne off of runway 06, 2100 for 5,000.
Okay, Express 472, thanks, you're identified. Turn left heading 320.
Left turn heading 320, can Express 472. Alright, left 320.
Okay, Express 472, you can also climb flight level 280.
Climb flight level 280, can Express 472. Alright, 320 on the heading. And 280 on the altitude. 28,000 feet, 320 heading, perfect. Alright, and since we're getting turned on course here, we'll go ahead and accelerate a little bit more. 230. Alright.
Okay, Express 472, continue that left turn direct BEMIC on course.
Direct BEMIC on course, can I Express 472? It's always this little vector leg that just kind of screws with the whole thing. So, is there any way I can clear out that stupid vector leg? So I remove the vector leg. Now can I do direct BEMIC? There we go. Now it seems like it's going to do it. BEMIC and then odd boss. Nice, nice. Okay, we finally got it to work once. Alright, looks like we're above the cloud deck more or less, so we'll go ahead and get the engine anti-ice off. That'll give us a little bit more power. Oh, not that button. Ah, can't move these both switches. There we go. Alright, 230. Knots yet, we're on course. And we are in the climb D10? No, we're in the cruise D10. There we go, that's the climb power right there. That's probably why we're not quite climbing as well as we could. Let's go ahead and get speed 250 now. And then let's actually do the after takeoff checklist. So landing gear up, flaps, 0 set, fuel cross flow is now auto, bleeds are set. APU is not required. Did I close the door on it? No, I did not. The door on the APU is closed now. Lights. There's 10,000 right there, so go ahead, lights off while we're at it. Let's do seat belts as well. And, where am I here? Thrust reversers are off. Engine displays 1 and 2 are checked and clear, and the cabin is released. The after takeoff checklist is complete, and let's go ahead and get 290 on the speed. Let's pick up some speed. Let's get going towards Montreal. 290 for climb speed right now. Prog page says Montreal in just over an hour. That's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. All right, 24 left. Yeah, your pick. 24 left, 24 right. I'm kind of. I think I planned 24 right, but domestic flight 24 left is actually the easier taxi in. So, you know, dealer's choice. But I probably actually would reset myself for 24 left looking at that number. All right, so we do have Boston Center. I heard him to send you off to Boston Center, so that's good that we have Boston Center available to us here. No Montreal Center, unfortunately for us. Quite a few departures out of Montreal. Hoping against hoping that maybe it'll happen, but. And Jazz 7998 is also going to follow us from Moncton over to Montreal. So good. Well, I got to say this is a bit of a fun evening. It's just this one's I think it's just a little bit more of a, I hate to say goof around, but was sort of trying to find something to do, something fun. There's some really nice airports out there in Canada to explore, and that's one thing that. The trouble is the hubs that are kind of missing in Canada, so that's why like I can't really justify flying any of the Canadian airlines right now, because the hubs airports, especially Toronto, #1, but even Montreal as well is a possible hub. Calgary is a possible hub. The only real hub of a Canadian airline that's available to us really is Vancouver. Halifax is a hub for a couple of airlines as well, but Vancouver is the only one that's available. So right now, the major airports in Canada are not well represented in Microsoft Flight Simulator. The default scenery just, while it's better than it was in the P3D era, it just still sucks at the end of the day. It still sucks way, way badly. So I really, yeah, that's kind of why I just want to do this just for fun and just go visit some of the places that had good scenery. But there's not enough of them, I think, to really make a good pilot's life career of it, which is unfortunate.
Express 472, contact Boston now 134.7. Have a good night.
Boston 134.7, Canadian Express 472. Good night, thank you.
Good night.
Yeah, so that's kind of why I stayed away from the Canadian Airlines. Yeah, I like to support VATCAN, and being a controller in here, I like to fly through Canada when I can. But it just didn't seem practical for my pilot's life career at this point. That's the only thing. Did not seem practical at all. So.
November 33 Charlie Tango, Boston Center, hello, climb and maintain 15,000.
Transition set standard. Standard set cross-checked and passing 191. Boston Center, very good evening. Canadian Express 472, flight level 194, climbing 280.
Canadian Express 472, Boston Center, good evening, climb and maintain flight level 360.
Climb flight level 360, thanks, Canadian Express 472. Alright, all the way up to 360, here we go. But yeah, so that's why I was pretty happy that I got accepted by American, because American is good. It's such a large airline, it's going to provide a large variety of routes to me, and that I think is going to be really interesting. As we saw from that list of airports just in the first schedule, hits up a lot of the major ones, but a lot of the major ones are covered, even by default scenery, quite well. Los Angeles, JFK, and of course DFW is the hub that I chose for the first round, but it probably won't be the last hub I choose. I may opt for a couple of turns out of Miami. San Francisco,
United 45 contact, Boston,
lots of good hubs lots of good hubs for American Airlines that are covered by some of the default scenery, but there's still a few key airports that are missing to me, even in America. And I kind of want to bring that up. I wanted to ask people watching, what, in your opinion, what is the most, what's airport scenery are you hoping for next? What scenery, what do you feel is like the most important airport that does not have any kind of scenery coverage in Microsoft Flight Simulator? Even the detailed handcrafted airports, they're not bad. They'll do the job. They're not perfect, but they'll definitely do the job for me. But airports that are nothing but auto-generated scenery that really need to be better than auto-generated scenery. What is, what are your top 3 airports that you want to see some good developer push a really nice version of this airport out sometime soon? And for me, top 3 anyways. Top 2 are pretty easy. Toronto and Boston, to me, are the top 2. Toronto, of course, the home airport, major airport in Canada, hub for all the airlines in Canada. So if you want to fly Canadian Airlines, you gotta fly Toronto. And the default scenery, the auto-generated scenery for Toronto in Microsoft Flight Simulator just sucks badly. Terrible. Just not even. Can't even like close my eyes and pretend that it's somewhat realistic. It's just not good. So that's right at the top of my list, of course. Boston is the other one that immediately leaps to mind as an airport that is just missing. I'm at the end of the day, I'm really surprised that Microsoft, that Asobo did not handcraft that airport themselves, because it's such a popular airport in the sim world. It's such an interesting airport. It's right downtown Boston, so you get fantastic views of the skyline. To me, I thought it was a no-brainer. I was surprised
American
to see that
47, contact Boston approach 133.0.
was not included.
Have a good night.
Now, mind you, of course, Asobo had to sort of whittle down probably a huge list of airports they wanted to try and do down to a practical number, and Boston, I guess, did not make the cut. But again, it sort of surprised me. In the simming world, Boston, I think, punches way above its weight. Boston, the Boston Virtual Air TCC on VATSIM is one of the standout, just consistently highest quality ATC organizations on the entire VATSIM network, hands down, no exceptions. It is right up there. It is definitely one of the top. I'm not going to say it is the absolute top, but without a doubt, it is definitely one of the highest performing. One of the highest performing
Delta 674 leaving my airspace. Cleveland
VATSIM organizations, and it's such a shame that they haven't gotten any good scenery in the simulator yet. And again, the default scenery it just sucks. It really does. It just does not do justice to some of these really beautiful, complex airports like Boston. So Boston is also right up there high on the list. Coincidentally, both those airports being worked on by Fly Tampa, and hopefully they'll have some good airports out there soon. Above and beyond that, those are my top two. I have. That is like the top two priorities. Like to me, those are the two that will make a huge difference to me as a simmer right away. More than any other airports, those are the two I want to see. Beyond that, then I sort of get into my second tier of like airports that I'm surprised are not out there. And again, I've got a bit of a North American bent to this because I do most of my flying in North America. But other ones that I think are again, that are important, that I'm surprised are kind of not out there yet. Minneapolis is a beautiful, unique kind of airport. I'm surprised that that's not out there. Montreal, Calgary, to think of a couple of Canadian ones. And Phoenix is also another one. It's a pretty big, important airport in America. Hub for a couple of airlines. That one's also surprising to me. Most of the other kind of major hubs in America are fairly well covered. You've got, just by the default scenery alone, you've got Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle, Denver, JFK, Atlanta. Orlando's not a hub, but Orlando's there, and Dallas, Fort Worth. Like these are some of the biggest hubs. I think another one that's kind of surprising is not out there already, and is a fairly big operation is Memphis. That one's also a pretty big one that I'm surprised is not out there. So those are kind of ones that I'm looking forward to.
Good evening.
Two of the ones that I'm really looking forward to, again, Phoenix and Minneapolis, I think are two really important ones as well. Flightbeat
04, radar contact 80 miles
is another one. Is a developer that kind of produced them in the past, I think, and I hope they're going to produce them again. I hope they're going to kind of add them to the list of aircraft they're trying to airports they're trying to convert to.
leaving my airspace shortly. Moncton is closed.
Microsoft Flight Simulator. It seems like a lot of their airports, they kind of took the same airports they had already developed and transferred their models over. Obviously, tweaked them and improved them to match the quality of the simulator. But
I'm sorry, second.
I'm just going to pull this speed back for a second.
Yeah, go for it.
But those are two more airports that I was kind of surprised. Again, I have a very North American bent. These are North American airports that I'm surprised are not out there. And Montreal's also on that list. At least there's a good freeware for Montreal. But Montreal's also pretty high on that list of I'm surprised it's not covered out there. But certainly some of these major American hubs, very kind of surprising that nobody has worked on them yet. And not even really on the radar. Like, I don't think that Flightbeam... I hope that Flightbeam does release Minneapolis because their Minneapolis in P3D was great. Their Phoenix in P3D was great. So I hope that they are going to take those products and convert them over to the Microsoft Flight Simulator platform because I think they were great. I think there's a lot to be said for those airports. They're busy airports. They're popular destinations. And Minneapolis is another great example of a really good virtual organization that I think punches above its weight in terms of providing really good quality service, lots of good events into Minneapolis. You never fail to have a fun time when you fly into Minneapolis on an F&O or for one of their events. So again, it's just another one that has surprised me that they haven't yet got that. Nobody's got the scenery out there. So there's a lot of kind of smaller airports releasing, and I guess maybe part of it too. It disappoints me a little bit to see so many small airports being released when the majors that are so unique and so complex and really need a handcrafted model are not being covered. But I guess on the flip side of it, especially for a lot of these people are newer developers, Microsoft Flight Simulator has brought new developers to the platform. I guess one of the reasons why you don't see what am I trying to say? One of the reasons why you don't see a lot of these new developers, especially tackling the big airports right off the bat, is you've got to kind of cut your teeth on something. You've got to learn how to use the tools and the development process before you can take on one of these big projects. So it's easier to take on some of these smaller airports where it's maybe a small terminal building, some buildings around the airport, but none of them are particularly huge, not overly complicated airports, and you kind of learn your tools, learn your techniques off those things, and then in the future you move on to, okay, now we're going to start working on some of the much more bigger, multi-runway, large
I'll have that for you when you
airports.
get closer.
350 climbing 360. So a little bit disappointing at this point. You know, I guess we're what, a year and a half into Microsoft Flight Simulator, and it's a year and a half, yeah.
Boston Center, welcome back. Climb and maintain for 200.
And it's a shame to see some of the airports
contact Boston, approach
just not there yet, but I certainly hope they're working. I know Flight Tampa has definitely confirmed they are working on Boston, they are working on Toronto, so those are coming. The other ones, like I said, some of the
contact Boston, approach 133.
ones that I'm kind of concerned with, really interested in seeing, they're just not, I don't even know if they're on the radar. I haven't heard hide nor hair about them, so. A little disappointing, but hopefully we'll get some of those good airports soon.
Number 5906, Boston Center, good evening. Critics to Roxton, Takeoff Rwy, November.
Yeah, I'm going to move myself there while I enjoy the external views. And I do have I did turn on an alpha filter on my screen here, so the actual sim is a little bit darker than what you're seeing here, but it's overall pretty good. I'm also going to do this. Just kind of center a little better there. There we go. Kind of nice.
Boston Center, calendar 4016 limit on that, and subject ISR slot testing.
Such a nice airplane. It has been tons of fun to fly.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
I'm definitely not going to stop flying it. 737, I'll definitely try to mix it up. I know that if it's slowly winning you over to the idea of buying that PMDG airplane, and I think you'll enjoy it. I think it'll be worth the money when it comes out, especially because I think the entry point's going to be lower on it than it has been in the past. In the past, it really kind of $100 basically. It showed $100 to get into that airplane. Now, if they kind of break it down and they just charge you per model, maybe it's $50, $60 per model, they'll probably make more money off some of the simmers, but at least they'll be able to get a lot more people in the door at $60 than $100. $100 is a pretty steep price for entry. I think the PMDG product is generally worth it, but a lot of people are going to balk at that number. So if you can take the price down, and I think I really do believe that most of the developers really bought into this platform, the Microsoft Flight Simulator
platform. I do have it. You ready?
I'm ready.
I remember 40615 states in the Rogers
they bought into
reducing
the price and increasing their market share. Increasing the number of people who are going to pick up an add-on to
maintain 2,000,
price 2/3 or half of what it would have been priced with previous iterations of the D3D and everything. So certainly PMDG seems to be working in that direction as well. The DC6 is not reasonably priced, and I hope the 737 is similarly priced. There's definitely some interesting stuff that happened some interesting stuff that was happened this last week or two though as well. I'm pretty excited. Of course, PMDG is now entered the full beta phase for their 737, so the 737 is now in beta, but it's in full beta, so turn that noise down a little back. It's in full beta now, so that means that they basically think most of the functionality is done. They're still tweaking and polishing some stuff, but the basic functionality is the airplane flies in the sim. So it's good to see that. It's good to know that they've reached that stage, and that's a piece of good news. So hopefully we'll get our hands on that airplane ourselves very soon. Other interesting tidbits along the way as well. Aerosoft confirmed that they're working on the A330, so that's really kind of that is going to be fun, because that's one thing that I think this sim is now missing. The 737 is going to fill a really nice niche of getting kind of short to medium haul flying, but the one thing that's going to still be missing is a good long hauler. I can't fly those default airplanes. The FMSs are just too simplistic for me. I know how an FMS is supposed to work. I know how it's supposed to operate. I want it to operate that way. And when I try to get in and fly one of those simplistic default, the Dreamliner or whatever, I just can't do it. It's just not good enough. I'm sorry. It's just not good enough. So I cannot fly those long hauls. I'm excited to kind of get my hands on those on a long haul airplane. So it looks like the 330 might be the first one to market. Aerosoft said now that they've released the Twin Otter, they're now shifting their priority to the 330. The 330 sounds like it's going to be their next release. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be anytime soon, but it is their front burner project now. It's the #1 project they're working on, which is good. It'd be good to get a long hauler in there. It's a relatively easy airplane to fly, but just nice to have long legs. The one thing I have to say is missing from Microsoft Flight Sim, and I really hope that they fix this, is the pause and top and drop function being missing from all these airplanes. And I don't know if there is a way to fix it, but how can you have a simulator that you can't pause? The only way to pause the sim is to go to you know, there's a flight pause where your airplane keeps running, your fuel keeps burning, and it just sort of, what's what I'm trying to say, and it, you know, it's a flight freeze, but it's not a full freeze. Your airplane still burns fuel and whatever, but it just simply doesn't move through the space. We need a full pause capability for this sim, because we need, when we start doing long haul flying, we really need that pause and top and drop button. That button was just always so valuable. You knew you could go, you could set a flight going, if you, you know, set like a 6 or an 8 hour flight going, and you could go and do other stuff, and you knew if you got busy with whatever you were doing, you got distracted, you could come back, and as long as you set that pause and drop option on, you knew you wouldn't overfly your destination. Man, if I had $1 for every time I've had to walk away from the sim for some length of time to go do something, go grab a meal, you know, do some chores around the house, whatever, come back, and the number of times that my airplane has either flown way past the top of descent or even flown past its destination, I have to turn around and go back to the destination because I was away for longer than I intended to be, and the airplane got there, and I just, that pause and top and drop function, the longer the legs too, the more you need it. When you start doing long haul flying to Europe, 6 or 8 hours, you need that pause and top and drop function. It's such an important function, and I can't believe it's not built into the simulator right from the get-go. But I hope that they certainly bring that feature to the simulator at some point, and I certainly hope PMDG has managed to find a way to make that work. Aerosoft, I hope you can find a way to make that work in the 330. The CRJ, you don't really need it. CRJ is generally short legs, okay, you don't really need it as badly. But you talk to 330, that's the kind of thing where you set the sim going overnight and wake up in the morning and land the airplane sometimes. Yeah, pause it, top and drop, it's so necessary. I hope that they can get that into the sim at some point. I hope that Aerosoft's going to be able to do that. I guess I should have got the power back when we got the cruise here.
Good evening, squawk 4745.
Wow, it's so much quieter in the flight deck. I can turn this back up again a little bit here. That way we can hear ATC as well.
United 214, radar contact 130 miles east of Euro, maintain final with 300.
Let's just get some
Okay, level 3009.
going on this here. Oh, we're just passing Millinocket. Here's our top of descent in about 140 miles, so we're going to be there pretty quick. It's actually a pretty quick flight. It's a quicker flight than I thought. I'm used to going Moncton to Toronto, so that's why I'm thinking it's like an hour and a half 2 hour flight, but it's really just over an hour flight in this airplane. Just to go to Montreal, so we'll have to start setting up for that arrival shortly. Take a little bit of time here in cruise.
Radar contact, maintain final 340 and your squawk.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty exciting. Exciting news just to find out that the 330 is a work in progress. So there is some
Tango to set and maintain
good news this week. That and as I said, like FS2 crews getting really close to releasing the CRJ, and as part of that, I think. Part of kind of what triggered me to really start flying the fly-by-wire 320 was kind of a combination of, you know, looking at what can I do in my pilot flight career with 320, but it's also knowing that there is the
have a great night.
What am I trying to say here? Knowing that there is like already an FS2 crew voice control system on that fly-by-wire A320, so I kind of wanted to get used to using that A320. Get used to using the FS2 crew in that airplane and see how it works with this generation of sims, so that when this comes out for the CRJ, it's a bit less of a shock and it's more just kind of moving right along. And I have to say, like, it's been pretty impressive. I like it a lot. It does everything I kind of wanted to do. I'm not a big fan of the interface. I find it looks a little bit toy-like, if you will, a little bit. Once I've kind of really learned the systems, I'm going to probably minimize that. I don't know, it's the yellow on black paint scheme, the color scheme. Yellow text on black background. I don't know. It looks very kind of old school. Like you look at so much computer software nowadays, and everyone's taking a lot of effort to kind of make everything kind of soft colors and pastels and blends, and you get a yellow and black. It's a very kind of harsh,
11 cross Stella at and
harsh color scheme.
1000.
I think probably the best thing that
Bradley
FS2
altimeter
could do is perhaps
3033.
create a series of customizable themes, or let you pick the colors that you want for your window, because I just don't like that interface color scheme. I really don't. The product itself is good, and the product itself works well. I don't like the color scheme of the interface, and I'm going to show you guys that when I start flying.
Sorry, still at 11,000.
And to show you what that looks like. It's not it's not terrible, but I find the interface to be a little bit clunky. I almost like the way it was set up before, where they made it kind of look like a panel out of the airplane. I thought it was a little bit kitschy, but it just made it seem like it was part of operating the airplane, whereas the way it looks now, it doesn't feel at all like a part of operating the airplane. I'm looking forward to learning the information out of it and minimizing it and getting it out of my line of sight, because I don't like the way it looks.
So it's 2590 contact Boston approach 133.0.
It's a bit disappointing. It's a bit
133.0. Thanks to the ATC, Solaris 2590.
Number 33 Charlie Tango, descend to maintain 1000.
An easy blue would be nicer. Yeah. There's all sorts of better colors that could be used. I think those are a little easier on the eyes. And I think the best thing he could probably do, I think Ryan is the name of his FS2 crew. I don't want to belittle his product. He's put together a great product again. He's made it work in the Microsoft Flight Simulator platform. It seems to be working quite well. I've only used it a handful of times so far. I'm getting used to it and practicing it, so I'm feeling a little bit awkward with it at first. I'm learning the SOPs and it's getting better. But yeah, added the ability to change that color scheme. That color scheme, I just don't like it. It's too high contrast. It's not easy on the eyes at all. So I hope he changes it. I really do. Again, the product itself is good. I just don't like the way the interface is colored. So the other thing that the other complaint I will have about this generation of FS2 crew products, other people are going to say it's an advantage. I don't look upon it as an advantage. Is the lack of documentation. And again, and I'll talk about this when I get into it, but basically, just the fact that there are no flows, there is no printed document that you can print out and reference. What they decide to do, what FS2 crew decide to do, for those that have not seen it, is they basically put all the prompts on the screen in the window, in that interface window that has the horrible paint scheme, the horrible color scheme that I dislike. But all the prompts are in there, so if you have the screen open and you're unfamiliar with it, it's right there. Whatever phase of flight, it shows you these are the possible voice commands that are acceptable right now, that we anticipate you having right now. So that's really good. But I'm a pilot through and through. I believe in learning the SOPs, not reading them off the screen. So I would love to have. I understand that, and I don't want to say don't have that, because I think a lot of people that would be very useful to them. But for me, as a pilot, I'm a believer in study it, learn it, and then practice what you know. But learn it, memorize it essentially, and practice them what you know. So I would love to have a printed reference with all the various calls on it that I could then have next to me to reference when I need it. I can study it even when I'm not flying, because the trouble with a lot of these is you can't often look at some of these commands and everything when you want the program open. There is one thing you can do, and there's a print function, so you can print out any of these reference screens, but you can only print out each one separately. So for every reference screen, you can have a separate sheet of paper. It's just not the best way to organize it. I mean, you can do it that way. It's, again, nice to have as an option, but for me as a user, I think the better way to do it would just be to have one pre-printed document that those of us that do prefer a nice printed document that we can reference and study, I think it would be better if they had that option to kind of have one document that had all that stuff in it that we could then print out for ourselves. Because I printed out a lot of those FS2 manuals over the years and had them nearby for references. I studied them when I was not flying, when I was looking at the sim in front of me, just to learn the flows for the 737 or the 320 or all those things. Like, I found the documentation before was great. It was lengthy, but it was everything you needed was in there. I liked it. I miss it. I want it back. And at this point, I have taken to, I'm going to recreate it myself. If FS2 crew will not make that documentation I want, I will make it. I'm going to go through all those little menu prompts find out all the phraseology, and I'm going to type up my own document that's got all the phraseology, and I'll share it in my channel once I get it done, because I think there's a number of people out there that will enjoy it. I don't think it's for everybody. I definitely don't think it's for everybody, but I think there are some people who will enjoy having that as a one-piece reference document where you can have multiple different, you know, sections on one page rather than print out each page of the interface one at a time, which is just, again, feels a bit clunky to me.
United 214 descend via the Ocean 5 arrival.
But I am looking forward to getting that in the CRJ regardless, and I hope that, I imagine, of course, it's going to come with the 737 as well before too long.
Runway 32 left.
Yeah, I'd certainly hope they'll get it out there sooner than later. It seems to be a thing too, like FS2 crew, they have a great product. They seem to do, once they sort of
6313 descend via the Ocean
overcome the
5
initial
arrival,
problems with trying to get up and running in the sim, I think the further add-ons, the next add-ons in the sim will get a little bit easier to set up. Then it won't be so much trying to set up an interface and learn how to interface with the sim. Then it's going to be mostly focusing on how do I interface with this particular airplane. But for the first one, for the A320, for the fly-by-wire A320, for the CRJ, they had to basically learn not just how to interface with the airplane, but how to interface with the sim as a whole and make a product that works with the sim as a whole.
Turn rate 140.
Once they get past that initial sort of issue, then the development process becomes a little bit simpler. You can use what you know and just simply change it for the different airplanes. And that's not, I know there's a lot more to it than that. I'm not trying to oversimplify, but I have to say that the task is going to be a little bit easier once you've got those first couple of airplanes in the sim. You kind of really start to get an in-depth understanding of the sim.
King Cross 472 leaving my airspace. Montreal's closed. Radar service terminated. Frequency change approved. Have a good night.
All right, thank you very much for the service. Off to the Unicom, Canadian Express 472. Good night.
Badger 99 X-ray, descend to maintain flight level 190.
All right, off to Unicom. Not much happening.
Flight level 190, Badger 99 X-ray.
Not
FedEx 12 resume the public speed there,
out here in Montreal. I was going to try and send a note out, and I never did have time to send a note out. I wanted to see if I could lure in a Montreal controller or two, but I just didn't have time. So maybe for the next couple of times I do these streams, I'll try and put some posts out there to the VATCAN controllers and see if I can lure in some controllers for our streams here. If we can get more than 2 of us on a group flight, then I think we'll probably have a better chance as well. Right now, 2 is a little bit on the low side in terms of trying to convince people to come online, but if we can get 3, 4, or 5 people to do a group flight, I definitely think we can get some ATC for some of these other legs. Next legs, I was thinking definitely Montreal just over to Ottawa, because that Roman Designs Ottawa scenery is just fantastic, and then from there I wasn't 100% sure where to go. I have Sault Ste. Marie Airport that looks okay, or I was thinking of just going straight through to Winnipeg and basically kind of heading off to the west coast, hit up Kelowna and Vancouver, because those are the only other 2 really good airport sceneries that are available right now, I think. If there's other good ones that are out there, please let me know, but in terms of places where a CRJ can dunk down into, there's not a whole lot of other airports in Canada that I think are applicable, unfortunately. So that's my plan anyways. I think the next leg would be Montreal, Ottawa, and then Ottawa would be a bit of a long leg after that. Like I said, maybe Sault Ste. Marie, or maybe all the way to Winnipeg. Those are kind of the next couple airports I'm thinking of. All right, but right now what I'm thinking is that we are 80 miles from top of descent, so it's time to probably get set up here. So let's see here. Again, our ZFW is about 62 tons. Right now we got about 6,000 tanks, so 62 and 6, that's about 68. I think 68 is a pretty reasonable, maybe even 67. What do we got here? See, the trouble is, like, this progress page, I just don't believe it when it tells me how much fuel we're going to have when we get there. 65. Anyways, yeah, I think 68,000 pound numbers are pretty close to what we're going to need, so I'm going to pull up my 68,000 pound card here with my speeds on it. And it looks like VRAF's going to be 134 for this one. Got the speed pegged pretty well at Mach 0.75, almost 0.77. That's 0.76. Pretty close. Power just a hair, it should be good. Alright, so yeah. You had the METAR, the winds were light out of the southwest. Down to the 24s, I am going to change it up to 24 left as well, because I think that that's better for the domestic flight anyways. The domestic end is on the left side, so. Really? Let's do this. Let's put BMEC up here. Stupid thing. I should put it in heading mode. It started turning. Stupid thing. Laro, Victor, Sylvie, Goran. Sloka. Perfect. Okay, it doesn't have doubles of everything. Just gotta close up the Sloka right here. Alright, and we can start pulling up some charts here. So I'm gonna have to reload the flight here. Again, I just love this, the fact that this is in the sim now. Load up my flight plan just like that. Destination, show me the charts for my destination. It's almost too easy. And plus, it's really great as a streamer to have these charts in here. So we're doing the Ombre 1. It's 24, so that's the one. And the ILS 24 left. And might as well ping up the taxi chart as well. Alright. Yeah, so I've got my speeds in, and we'll say my the line distance check. That's the one thing I should do is I should program in the localizer here for 24 left. It's going to be 110.5 inbound course 237. So let's do it here. 10.5. 110.5. Go set, and now we're pretty re-established on our heading here. Pick up the heading bug, heading mode. Change the nav source, and let's get 237 in there. So that's 240-239.87. Go. Put you back in nav mode. Perfect. And then let's just do it over here as well. Just pause my track IR because I cannot hold my head still enough. You know what I realized? I didn't put my webcam back on either, did I? There we are. Hey, I'm back. Alright, still leaning down so I can see what I'm doing here. Two, 3-7 here as well. That's good there. Why is that flashing at me? Did I ever set standard? No, oh, he never set standard over there on that side. Okay, I'm not even worried. Alright, so we got 237. We got the frequency set up as well. And the minimums for the ILS here, 318. So let's put 320 on the barrel mins here. Everything reset. The 320 set. Perfect. All right. Yeah, so let's pull up the charts here. Let's do a quick briefing here because we're going to be top and drop in about 30 miles here. So the arrival today we're doing is the Ombre 1 RNAV arrival into Montreal. It's on plate 10-2 Golf, effective on the 27th of January 2022. Let's see what's changed on this. Procedure renumbered, general notes, waypoint, Quebec withdrawn, odd boss added. So now we're on odd boss. RNAV 1 DDR GNSS required. Safe altitude 100 miles to 74. Non-GNSS aircraft. That's not us. D-bus, ICMIC, odd boss must do transitions for non-GNSS aircraft. Those DMEs have to be operable. It's okay. We're GPS equipped, so we're good. So we're doing odd boss. After that, we go to Alero, Vicbu, Sylvie, Gorux, Ombre, Okapo, and Mare. That's the only restriction for the straight in 24 left between 10 and 4,000. Looks like it's planned at 9,500. Perfect. And then we go straight to Sloka for the ILS runway 24 left. ILS runway 24 left, plate 11-3. Let's see here. Effective on the 19th of March 2021. Loc IMQ 10.5. So we've got 10.5 set both sides. And final approach course 237. I've set that both sides as well. Glide slope at Alna 1520. Should be in here as well. Yep, there it is. And ILSDA of, again, 318, so I got 320 set. It's checked. RVR 2600, half mile required down there. Touchdown zone 118 feet. Oh, I never reset this. Oh, I was thinking Ottawa. I was thinking we were going to Ottawa, but we're not. That was our alternate. Just do a couple more flicks there. We're looking for 120. Do it. So that's 180, so it's 160, 40, 20. 120. MSA, most sectors around the Montreal VOR is 3,300 feet. The missed approach is heading 237 straight ahead until we get to 2 DME, then a climbing left turn 3000 on a heading of 112 and intercept of 144 radial to the VATSIM intersection and hold. Radar not required, it's 100 miles safe, 74, low reliable, 10 degrees center line procedure, turns not authorized. Common low frequency 6 right, 24 left, and verified low cadet for this approach. Simultaneous approaches with 24 right if anybody else is coming down there. SSALR, 3 degree float, and no pappies. Landing on 24 left, we'll just roll it all the way to the end, and we're going to park one of the domestic gates. We'll see where you park, Squibbly. We'll try and park next to you. That's my goal anyways. But anyone on the domestic gate is probably down here we'll park at. We'll find something that's empty. And yeah. Terrain again, 3,000 I believe. I've already forgotten it. I said it. 3,300. Weather is, how was the weather doing? I think it was pretty nice, right, BMC? You posted it there. 15 miles, yes, got 20,000, yeah, just cold, minus 15. And operational, no MELs, no NOTAMs that I saw. I'll read the NOTAMs in a second here. Fuel to go to Ottawa, 14 and 12, that's about 2,600, 2,700. We got 5,600 still in the tank, so we're going to have tons of fuel when we get there still. So we're going to start down any second now, so we're going to start idling the engines shortly here. Just a quick check of the NOTAMs here. In my flight plan, anything interesting at Pierre Elliott Trudeau. Let's see here. Runway conditions are all dry. Approach procedures. Let's see, the runways, nothing. 1028 is always closed. 24 left. Only the LNAP minimum effective, so that's good. No, nothing at all impacting our operations, so I'd say we're good to go. And we're just coming to our top of descent point here in another couple of miles here, so let's go ahead and set. Now we might as well, there's no ATC, might as well just set 8,000, which is normally what they clear you to for air anyways. Here's 8,000. It's just after we pass Odd Boss. Odd Boss, we're 3.6 miles away. Just past Odd Boss, we're going to start down here. You know what? We'll start down now. Smooth out that top, that initial descent. Just start down to 1,000 feet per minute, and then we'll intercept a steeper path as we get just a little bit closer. Right now it's saying we need only 900 foot per minute descent to make the planned altitude at Alero anyway, so 1,000 feet per minute should work just fine. There goes Odd Boss. Alero's next. And we are already on the arrival. That was actually a shorter flight than I thought it was. I thought it was a long flight, but it's really not that long of a flight. And Superb YouTube on VATSIM says Yukon man in the snow. Okay, I gotta say, I love that Twitch handle. Yukon man in the snow. I love it. Oh, feeling it today. It's cold out there. Anyone remember Arvon of the Yukon? Yvonne of the Yukon? No, I can't say I do. But I'll have to Google it now just to find out what it is. Alright. On our way down, you can even see the lights of Montreal off there in the distance. It's not a bad sim if I kind of turn the gamma up a little bit on it. It's not too bad. It's definitely reasonable. You can kind of see what's happening outside, so it's not totally black, but yeah, I kind of stand by my decision to try and not stream this sim in the dark because it is so good at capturing darkness and the light, and especially the codecs that are used for streaming are often, you know, they simplify the colors a little bit, so they're not the best at kind of tuning in all these colors. So just a little bit above the planned VNAV profile there, so just give it a little bit extra descent there. Yeah, it's a pity we don't have too much going on in VATSIM right now. Let's see here. Just pull up my VATSpy window. I mean, Montreal's a little bit busy. Lucas is ahead of us there. And there are 2 airplanes on the ground that are getting ready to depart Montreal. You know, I'll say I'll still consider us pretty lucky that we got a good amount of ATC today. And that's really the reason why I picked Monday night, was Moncton Monday. I knew that we would have good service out here with the guys doing Moncton Monday. I knew that we'd catch some ATC that way without even having to ask, without trying. We'd catch some good ATC. And that's always a challenge on VATSIM, especially, and you know, streaming, like, I like to get the ATC in there because it just makes it a little bit more interactive, more realistic. Yeah, it's disappointing when you can't have it all the way, but you get as much as you can. And with streaming, it's hard to plan on, especially because, like, as a streamer myself, like, my schedule is so kind of erratic and all over the place. I cannot plan necessarily week to week on always being on at a certain time, being around for certain events like FNO or something like that. I often cannot plan on being part of FNO, though I will try to be a part of FNO in the future. And even this month is going to be a little bit, honestly, the rest of this month is going to be a little bit awkward for streaming. This week, I've got lots of time to myself. I don't have to work at all this week, but then basically, starting on Friday, I have to work for... Starting on Friday, I think I work, let me think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 days out of the next 9 days starting on Friday. So, Squibbly says he posted it in Discord. I'll have to check it out in a second here. But yeah, I'm going to work 8 out of the next 9 days starting on Friday. So next week, unfortunately, there will probably be no stream. Just because, just at work almost every single day, the one night I have off, I don't think I can pull myself away to stream. And I think Monday night, I think I'm off. I just don't think I can pull myself away to stream that night, because I'm going to be working a lot. But I will do a stream as soon as I can. Trying to kind of keep it a weekly thing. It's just not really totally feasible with my work-life schedule, but I'll do what I can. I haven't even opened my Discord, I don't think, on any of my screens here. Got my laptop over here beside me. I never have my Discord open. I don't look upon it as something I want to be on all the time. It's something I sort of step into when I want to check for messages and see things, but then otherwise I usually don't have it open a lot. Yvonne of the Yukon. Yeah, that does. I see the YTV logo in the corner. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a YTV show to me. Does YTV even exist anymore? I mean, I haven't had cable for 15 years, so I wouldn't know what cable channels exist anymore. Yeah, I guess YTV still exists. Launched September 1st, 1988, 33 years ago. It's been around for a long time. Owned by Chorus Entertainment. Yeah, Chorus is still around, so... Yeah, I haven't had cable for more than 10 years now. So I don't know what channels exist anymore. I think they all still exist. It just... The cable universe is so big out there. Yeah, I did mention that. PMDG 737 did enter the beta. I mentioned that when I started, just before I started talking about the Aerosoft Airbuses as well. So the A330 coming. There's going to be a lot of good airplanes in this sim in the next, I would say, 6 to 12 months. We're going to have the 737. 737 is going to be big. I feel like that Phoenix A320 is going to probably come out in the next 12 months. They're doing so much fast work on it. I'm shocked at how fast they're managing to pull stuff together on that for a developer that sort of has come out of nowhere. I don't know anything about the development team of the Phoenix A320. None of the names are familiar to me, so I don't know if they're just people I've just never heard of before, or if they are a lot of kind of newcomers into the development scene. But they definitely seem like they're doing good work, and they're doing it really quickly. So in the next 6 to 12 months, I definitely see, of course, the 737. I see Phoenix releasing their 320. I can see Aerosoft releasing the 330 within the next 6 to 12 months. If they put that as their primary airplane project they're working on now, I bet that's going to be within that next 6 to 12 month window. The ATR that's being worked on, I think, was also in the sort of a similar time frame. And then, of course, the other one that we haven't heard a lot from lately, but is still being developed out there, the Mad Dog. That's out there being worked on. That one's a little bit, I don't know if that's in the 6 to 12 month range. It seemed like they had a lot of stuff, like they had it in the sim. It seemed like it looked pretty good in the sim. Yeah, and what was the other one I was just thinking of? The Concorde too. DC Design's working on bringing the Concorde into Microsoft Flight Simulator. That will be a fun one. That one to me is a must-have. I haven't flown the Concorde in any other sim yet. I think it's going to be fun. Very different from anything else. Like you operate one airliner, you kind of operate them all. They start to become very similar after a while. Concorde is just, it's a whole different ball game. So I'm looking forward to that one. I think Concorde's going to be a really neat airplane as well. So, and that one definitely seems like it's definitely approaching late development, approaching like the beta testing phase as well. So in the next 6 to 12 months, we could have a good 3 or 4 quality airliners on our hands. I think we're going to have a really good variety of airplanes in the sim. I hope we get the airports to match them soon. I really do. That seems to be... right now it seems like we're really short on airplanes, but when we start to get a few of these airplanes out there, the nice thing about an airplane is you can use it for a long period of time. Like I've been flying the CRJ now for, what has it been, probably like 6 months, and I still enjoy it. I haven't tired of it yet. If I see the 737, I'm going to really enjoy that because I really like that airplane. I think it's a fantastic airplane. I know PMDG does a great job. I can't wait to see failures happen. One thing I noticed with the fly-by-wire 320 is I noticed that there are failures in there now. I hadn't flown it for a while, and I noticed that on the EFB that there are some failures simulated. They said, use caution. They're not necessarily guaranteed to be accurate performers, but they are in the system. They are being programmed in. It is something that they're definitely going to follow through on as they move through the development phases. So that's definitely something that I'm looking forward to as well. So the fly-by-wire, I think the fly-by-wire still has ways to go. It's definitely very usable in its current state. It's not perfect. There's of course all sorts of features and stuff missing, but it's very usable in its current state. So I'm looking forward to using that one. I think I'm going to definitely take advantage of that. And of course, if we get that one out there, if we can get it to the point where we do get minimum 10 people on stream, I will definitely consider trying to run one of the failures in the 320 when we start flying that. So a couple of streams down the road when we get into flying that airplane, we'll definitely try and do up some failures. Hopefully they're reasonably functional. EasyJet Sim Pilot. I should I'd be interested in kind of watching some of these people stream and see what some of these beta tests look like. We got 1.4. This says we should be at about 2,000 to really kind of... It's funny because it doesn't show us being that far behind the VNAV path here, but it seems to want us to go down about 2,000 from here on out, maybe even more, 3,000 even. I was going to say, it felt like we were going down pretty slowly, but let's try 2,700 and just see where that puts us. Transition nicely to 290 knots. It's pretty good for me. Because Montreal's coming up pretty fast there, and yet it feels like we are kind of high. I do love the way, like, they've done an excellent job of kind of making the city areas glow, which is a fairly kind of realistic kind of way to perceive them. The only thing is, of course, you would see a lot more... the one thing you would see is you would see a lot more paths of light between here and that city. You would see the individual lines of highways going all through that area. So I won't say it's kind of a perfect rendition, but it generally captures the general feeling of night flying. It's not perfect, but it's challenging to do as much to really kind of capture night flying, because night flying is so it's so about like literally thousands, hundreds of thousands of individual points of lights that you can see, and obviously trying to calculate that in the computer is not going to work that well. So it's a nice compromise with the way they have those effects come in. All right, what did you say the that's what you said here for the altimeter in Montreal? It is 3031. Pretty nice cold high pressure in Montreal. 3031. 3031. All right. We are almost there already. That was actually not a very long flight. I'm so used to flying like Moncton to Toronto, so I think of it as being like a 2-hour flight, but Moncton to Montreal is just a little over an hour. It really is not that long of a flight, which actually made it a really kind of nice night to do, a nice way to do 2 legs in a night, you know. Able to get 2 legs in there, get the turnaround. Kind of wish I had stepped away for as long as I had at the turnaround, and I really kind of wish I'd got self-loaded cargo working, but obviously without a gate, it doesn't work in the sim yet. Hopefully that is something else that they'll be able to address and fix. I haven't even checked the self-loading cargo website in a long time to see if there's any updates. I know that they've been talking about working yeah, the last update was the 16th of October of last year. UI for self-loading cargo version 1.6. Yeah, that was kind of that's supposedly the version that's going to start adding voice interaction. And voice interaction to me is huge. That's where FS2 crew truly shines, is voice interaction. They need. I was not buying into FS2 crew as a button control only. I know they had released it as a button control, but I just was not. I don't know. It really needs voice control. That's what really truly makes FS2 crew shine. Is you can control your aircraft. You can command your FO to do things with your voice, and that so much more than clicking. Like, I get so tired of clicking all day long in the sim. Clicking on this, clicking on that, clicking on all my buttons. Like, I would love to start getting some hardware to kind of match my setup here. I would love to get like a mode control panel. Yeah, talk about things that I'm never going to buy, but doesn't mean I can't wish for them. I would love to get a mode control panel, be able to program the autopilot using my fingers, not using mouse clicking, because by the time I've done like a 2 or 3 hour flight in the plane and programmed a second or third leg, clicking on the FMS, oh my god, my fingers just get so sore. Speaking of which, I'm just going to pull up my FMC on my tablet, because I notice our legs page is blank because all of our legs scrolled off. All right. We're approaching. Not that too loud. 10,000, so let's get the power back to idle. Alright, let's get lights on. Let's get the people seated. And approach check. Alright, so lights are on. Pressurization 120 set. Cabin is advised. Altimeters 3031 inches set and cross-checked. Landing data is set for 68,000 pounds, and approach briefing is completed. Approach check was complete. All right, let's get that speed down to 250 for now. Just approaching Mare, just about to level at 8,000. It's 9 for 8. Got 250 knots set up here. And Lucas, I hope you had time to download that freeware Montreal scenery, because it's pretty darn good, I have to say. It's available for free, flightsim.to. Just search for CYUL. It has been updated for a while. The guy really worked hard on it for a little while, then he sort of has faded away. I don't know if he's doing other projects or what. It could use a bit more work, but it's really not bad. It's again, it's one of those cases where it's not perfect, but it's just so much better than the default, and it's definitely there's definitely some custom textures in there. It looks quite a lot like the real thing, I have to say. All right, so 230 knots. Let's go ahead and set altitude 4,000 as we go in. $4,000. PS minus 1,000. Self-loaded cargo in the A320, as long as you can get the front door open, it will allow the passengers to load if there is no jet bridge. Oh, that's good to know. Yeah, see, and because these are kind of custom door operations, I don't think there's any kind of trick for the CRJ. It just doesn't work. Yeah, I thought of applying the beta test. Oh, that's something else. That's another piece of news that I thought was interesting too. Apparently, there is a version 2 of a pilot's life that is being worked on right now. So, not a whole lot of details on it right now. The developer posted a message about it, said that he's working on version 2, and he's actually seeking people for beta testing right now. So I thought that was interesting. I saw that bit of news as well. That was the other thing. I forgot I was going to mention that as well. So that pilot's life is also getting an upgrade in the future. I'm curious to see what it all happens with this upgrade. The biggest thing, I think, probably the most compelling thing to me about the whole pilot's life career is the generating of schedules. I think it's fantastic. I think the kind of the random nature of the.
9916 taxiing to right via Foxtrot, Bravo, crossing 28, running check 2 right,
Oh, I can see the airport out there. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's the schedule generation is the most. Pardon me. It's the most crucial part of a pilot's life. Really, it's the part that I think is most engaging. Is this somewhat seemingly random schedule, but I love it when it's all linked together into a series of flights that I have to fly. I just love the way that schedule's generated and the challenge of trying to complete all those flights that are assigned. I think that's really kind of neat. I think that's really where that software shines. And I'm going to go ahead and set 3,000. And so I hope that, if nothing else, maybe just improves that algorithm a little bit in version 2. I'm not sure what else it can really do. It's a really fun concept, but I think improving that algorithm would be the best thing that would really improve that, offer an improvement to the software. Alright, I am going to arm approach mode. I'm going to mute my other computer because the Discord that I opened up started beeping at me non-stop now. Alright, so we've got 3,000 feet set, and we are going to arm the approach. I did arm the approach. Yeah, localized slip armed. Perfect. Alright. That's 4,000 descending 3,000.
Trail traffic Emirates 9916 crossing 2 trail.
Montreal traffic Air Canada 1015, clear 24 left. That's 2 speed. Back to it here.
I did.
So back to the gate.
Let me know which gate you park at, because I'd like to park somewhere next to you if I can find you. Alright, see, speed set to 210. And there's Loke.
And Montreal, Emirates 991 is clear of 28 Montreal.
Setting heading 237. Montreal traffic in Express 472 joining a 12-mile final, runway 24 left. Alright, glide slope is there, but I don't think it's even alive yet. I'm just going to kind of get myself kind of comfortable here to actually fly the remainder of this flight. You know what, I always forget that actually exists in this airplane. I forget there's a bloody, get it here. I forget that there's a heads-up display in this bloody airplane. I can't even click on it. I don't know where the click spot is. I'm not going to worry about it. I wasn't going to fly it anyways. Alright, let's go ahead. Flaps 1. Let's go speed 190. Glide slope's alive now. Alright, flaps 8. You know, I didn't do it to put my speed card back in front of me here. Just make sure that's in front of me so I have the speeds. Alright, there's glide slope. Go around altitude 3,000 feet set. Let's go at speed 180. Go gear down, flaps 20, just arm reversers. So quiet out here without ATC, it was so busy. In Moncton and Boston, listening to the constant drone of traffic, and the conversation is so quiet now. What a contrast. Alright, there goes Alnav 1520. Go around altitude is set. Go flaps 30. And ref is 134, so the target's 139. Flaps 45. Let's get the light on. Alright, and
1,000.
Let's see here. Landing checklist. So cabins advised. Thrust reversers are armed. Way more power than we've got here. We're getting low and slow. Flight spoilers are 0. The ignition is off. Landing gear is 3 green. Flaps are 45. Landing checklist is complete.
And Metro traffic, Air Canada 1015, we're parked here gate 9. Lots of room around here.
Montreal traffic in Express 472, short final runway 24 left. Alright, copy that, gate 9. Probably park at gate 7 then. Disengage in the autopilot.
500.
Stable.
400. 300.
Really? Ice? I'm not going to deal with it right now. I'm 200 feet above the ground.
200.
You can't accumulate a deadly amount of ice in 30 seconds.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Got 10,000 feet for Finesser. Oh, nicely done. I don't even know if we hit the ground yet. Reverse green. See, it's not a bad model. Like it's definitely like this guy took some time to make some nice custom models for this airport. So it's really I like it a lot. I think it's quite good. As far as freeway airports go, certainly a major airport freeware, it's pretty darn good. All right, nice. We've landed. The airplane's not going to die now. All right, we'll take the right up here on Alpha 4. Will my American Airlines career be on VATSIM? Absolutely. I do almost all my flying on VATSIM, and certainly all of my live streams always take place on VATSIM. So absolutely, my American Airlines career will take place on VATSIM and live on Twitch as well. I have live streamed every flight of my pilot's life career on Twitch, and I have archived them all on YouTube as well. So if you want to go back and check it out, you can see all of the previous 6 seasons that I've done.
Steinman 16 departing to flow right to Montreal.
All right, after landing flow. Montreal traffic, Canadian Express 472 is clear of runway 248, taxiing to gate, correction, clear of 24 left, taxiing to gate 7. Alright, after landing checklist, let's make sure I've got everything here. I guess the lights would be probably a good thing to cycle at this point. Alright, lights are as required, ignition is off, cargo air is off, anti-ice is all off, probes are off, flaps are 0, radar is off, transponder staying on for the taxi, and the APU starting. Alright, oh I see you up there on gate 9, so I'll park right next to you on gate 7. Get that APU going. And another successful flight. Haven't crashed on stream yet. Will I have a regular schedule for my American Airlines career? Unfortunately, no. If you stick around for just a couple minutes, let me just get parked here. I have a Discord server that I post my stream schedules into, usually 3, 4, 5 days a week in advance. The trouble is that my work schedule changes every week. Oh, there goes the departing traffic there. Nice. Which makes it very frustrating to ever try and sort of set up a regular stream. So I just sort of do it nights when whenever I get a chance. Or not even nights. I'll do it days during the weekends. Actually, days during the weekends are better. I like streaming during the day because the sim is so dark. It's hard sometimes to stream. I find streaming at night is it's just not as nice for the audience because it's mostly black. Depending on where you are and how much there is to look at outside the airplane, it's very dark. So I don't like to stream so much at night. So I try to stream during the day, and if I do stream at night, I often try to switch it up so that I'm not sure if that's far enough off the. Probably go up a little further. And if I do stream at night, I try to keep it relatively short. But or I might even change the time so that it's actually daytime in the sim, even though it's actually nighttime. I normally fly in real time, but sometimes when I'm streaming, I'll make exceptions to that to make it a little bit easier to sort of see what's going on. All right, so let's get seatbelts off. Smoke sign, that's the seatbelt sign. There it is, and just make sure. Yeah, these are in the idle D10. See, I really need new bloody throttle quadrant here. Saving up my money for a honeycomb Bravo, slowly but surely. Let's see. Those are off. That's off. All right, and the shutdown checklist. So park and brake is on. Electrics. We've got the APU running. Anti-ice is all off. Thrust levers are shut off. Seatbelts off. Fuel pumps. I always forget something. I don't know these flows very well, so it's a good thing we have a checklist. Fuel pumps are off. Hydraulic pumps, because we're going to park for the night, we're going to go ahead and shut them all off. Beacon is off. Steering off. Hydraulic quantities checked, and transponder standing by. Hydraulic quantities look good. Flight deck door off and crew debrief complete. So that's the shutdown checklist complete. We are done. And if I can, pull up my Pushback Express just to get the bridge. Give it about 5 to 10 seconds. Still flying the Air Canada colors today. That's right. Normally you fly the Delta colors, but today, flying in Canada, fly the Air Canada colors. Yeah. All right. Give me 1 second here. Here's my interface that I was bitching about. Pushback Express with its gray with yellow I find the colors are harsh. I think it could suffer from. I think it could do with a user interface renovation. The program itself works well, and the concept behind it is great. I really like it, but I just don't like this user interface. I'm sure probably Brian at FS2 Group probably spent a lot of time on it, which is why I hate, because I know he works hard, and I know he's put a lot of effort into the software, and I hate to disparage it too much, but this looks kind of clunky, a little bit old school. Like, could really benefit from hiring, even just as a contractor or a consultant, a user interface designer, someone to really kind of clean this up and just give it a nice kind of slick looking interface, because it works really well. The buttons do what they're supposed to do, but I tend to want to always just minimize it because I don't like to see it. How do you get to show Navigraph on the stream? That's a good question. I have it installed in my Microsoft Flight Simulator, so this is actually right here on the menu bar. This is the Navigraph button right here. So when you, let me see if I can pull it up here. If you have Navigraph and you have the Microsoft Flight Simulator installer here, so this is the Navigraph manager for Microsoft Flight Simulator, you can actually install right here Navigraph charts in-game panel. So that's how you install it, and then once you've got it installed, and of course the updated charts are in there, then it appears right here on your menu bar. So it appears as one of the items up here on your menu bar, which is just great. If you don't see it, if you've done that and you don't see it, maybe just check the custom toolbars and make sure that you've got everything on that you want. Like, I could turn on the FS2 Crew Command Center and it goes away. I can turn on or off the Navigraph and it would go away like that. So, but that's how you bring up the Navigraph charts. I bring it up because it's built into the sim here, just with that Navigraph charts button. And it's so slick when you're streaming, because then the only problem with the way I used to do it was when I used to have the browser, I used to have the web browser version up in front of the screen, but then as soon as I hit anything in the simulator, like if I was paging through the FMS, then the screen, the simulator would move to the front, the browser would lose focus and disappear behind the simulator, so I have to constantly be clicking back and forth. It was very awkward. So this is really, really slick and really useful as a streamer. Really like it. Really kind of nice to see the charts in there. Yeah, Lucas, thank you so much for flying with us today. That was great fun. I'm glad we got 2 legs done, and absolutely, I'll send you some messages when I get an idea of when I can stream. But like I said, probably it's going to be almost March before it happens again, just because of my work schedule for the next 2 weeks. It's pretty grueling. If I can squeeze something in, I'll let you know. Of course, I'm always trying to do ATC streams as well, so just give me 1 second here. I'm just trying to generate a Discord invite, so anybody who wants to can join my server here. So I'm just going to do a never expires message there. Alright, so there is my Discord server there, posted in the chat below. Yes, so you can check the Discord server, join the Discord server, and I will generally, when I do post, there's a channel called Streaming Schedule. When I do post, when I do figure out a day that I am going to stream, I post it in my Discord, and I mark it towards everyone, so I see it on there. If you follow my channel on Twitch, if you haven't already, if you follow it, then yes, you'll get notified whenever I go live. You won't get advance notice of it, but whenever I do go live, you'll see it. And also, you can also follow me on YouTube. I try to also post a note on YouTube. I have a channel on YouTube where I post a lot of my videos of my Twitch streams after the fact. And I will usually post a notification in YouTube as well whenever I go live on Twitch, just to sort of I have a lot more subscribers on YouTube than on Twitch, so just to get more people kind of seeing it and being able to catch me online. So please, follow me on Twitch, follow me on YouTube. It's the same name. It's Capt Nabs, CAPTNABS on YouTube as well. You can follow me on there. And yeah, if you're interested, join the Discord server. I'm not huge on social media. I never really have been. I used to have Facebook, and I used to spend a lot of time on it, and I really have gotten away from it in the last few years. I think it's more toxic than useful. So I tend to stay away from most social media outlets, if you will. I don't have Twitter. I don't really use Facebook. I have an account, but I don't use it. Discord was kind of the one social media tool that I kind of use, and YouTube I realize is kind of, and Twitch are kind of social media tools as well. So, but I don't have like a Twitter account or anything like that because I've never really liked the idea behind Twitter. I thought Twitter was a stupid idea from the get-go, and certain political leaders have proven how useless as it can be as a communication tool. So you'll see me on VATSIM as well. If you follow the channels, you'll also see when I post my what am I trying to say? When I do a stream on VATSIM. So I don't just do flying streams. I also do VATSIM ATC streams where we get where I'll just log on to VATSIM for a couple of hours and live stream the scopes. I'll try to do the tower view. This is one thing that I discovered just recently now, and it's really kind of unfortunate. If I have this computer here, I have my flight sim computer, I'll open up the tower view and I'll actually watch the planes take off and land from the tower as well as having my scope open. However, I can't do that now because I just discovered that with the recent upgrade to VATSIM with Velocity, Aeroscope, our car controller client, does not properly stream the information into the simulator anymore. When you try to connect as a controller, Aeroscope does not properly send the information about airplanes into the simulator anymore. It's not compatible with Velocity yet. So we're waiting for an update from the author of Aeroscope. He's not always the fastest at getting updates out there. I don't want to complain because I appreciate all the hard work he's done in the past. For free, handing the software out to anybody who wants it for free, never asked a penny in return. But not always the fastest update rate on updating the client. So it might be a few weeks, it might be a few months before we are able to get tower views again, which is a bit of a shame because I really kind of like controlling with the tower view and watching the airplanes in the simulator. Unfortunately, I don't use Volanta. I tried it. I didn't really like it too much. It's not that I didn't like it too much, it's that I didn't really see too much advantage over Volanta than anything. I was using Sim Toolkit Pro at the time. I compared the two, and basically sort of had a similar feature set. The one thing Sim Toolkit Pro has going for it that I like, that is useful to me, is they have the streaming tools. That streaming bar at the top that has the where is it? Over there, way up there, that has the speed and the altitude and everything on that. That is monitored and put into my stream by Sim Toolkit Pro. So I use Sim Toolkit Pro instead of Volanta mostly because it has those streaming tools available to me. So yeah, you can try to follow me on VATSIM. You just never know when I'm going to be around. My schedule is random and all over the place all the time. So let's see here. But you'll see me controlling quite a bit in VATSIM whenever I have the time. Like I said, this week probably you're going to see me on VATSIM a few times. I'll probably will do a VATSIM stream this week, and then probably the next 2 weeks. Like I said, I work most of the next 2 weeks, so you probably will not see me again online for about 2 weeks. Streaming anyways. I might pop in for an occasional flight just for fun, but I won't be able to stream for about 2 more weeks. But that is life. You know, this is not what I do for a living. I make a tiny bit of money out of streaming and YouTube, but I really don't make a living out of it, so got to continue making that living to pay for the rest of the simming stuff. So, but yeah, otherwise, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everybody who watched, I appreciate it. I had fun. I thought that was a great combination of flights to do. Really kind of nice. Really kind of nice chance to just take the RJ up and promote one of my favorite virtual airlines as well, Canadian Express. It's just a fun airline. Not a lot of requirements. You know, no hourly I think it's 1 flight per 90 days once you're an active member. It's not a hard airline to be a member of. You just fly whatever you want. There's no schedules or anything published that you have to fly. It's just for fun. But it's a lot of fun. It's a great fun airline. Lots of fun people in it. So I was happy to fly this. Happy to tour some good Canadian airports. This Montreal scenery is pretty darn good, especially considering it's freeware. You can't ask much better than this for a complex airport like Montreal with freeware. Yeah, sorry. Sim Toolkit Pro. Sim Toolkit Pro. I'm not sure where the spaces actually go in it, but anyways, search for Sim Toolkit Pro and you'll find it. And I like it. It's a good flight tracking tool. Lots of really, really neat stuff built into it. Flight tracking, streaming, all sorts of good stuff. I've really liked Sim Toolkit Pro. There, I have posted several streams where I really kind of went through all the features of it because I've liked it. I've used it for a while now, and it's a really good tool. Flight tracking and everything. Here's my Sim Toolkit Pro screen. All 526 flights that have been logged in Sim Toolkit Pro for 1,500 hours of VATSIM flying, 517,000 miles. Lots of great tools, flight planning tools. You can have a trackable fleet of airplanes in various locations, track your hours on different airplanes. My most popular airplane, 70 hours on this WestJet. This number is not correct, but 70 hours on my WestJet 737. Spent lots of time flying that thing around. Streaming tools, all sorts of really good tools. So you know, you can even just get live data from the sim and see what's happening in the sim. Anyways, like I said, that's good enough for me for tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all for the next stream. Stay tuned to Twitch, YouTube, and the Discord. You'll find out about the next stream, and come and join us. Come go flying. In the meantime, everybody, have yourselves a great night, and stay healthy, stay safe. We'll see you real soon.